Tuslaw.
I see Coach Dan Stats over there smirking because that's his style, head and arm right there, man.
That is Miss Fettner. So F-E-T-N-E-R, Miss Fettner for the Mustangs. And right now up 2-0. Her opponent from Northwest is Miss Roan. So Roan for Northwest in the gray, Fettner in the blue. Oh, the head and arm coming again. She has it.
Wow.
And to the back she goes. Official has the swipes going.
Dude, that's a pin.
And I think she slipped off.
Oh, okay.
Went into potentially an illegal situation there. But that's 2 head and arms we've seen. Yep, illegal move. Jeff Bowman, of course, one of our officials out there. And remember, Teach, last year, Jeff, his inaugural year at the state tournament, right?
Yeah,
First year for Jeff. So
I was talking to him about that earlier, yeah.
Great guy. Coached against him years ago when my boys were young over here at Northwest in the youth leagues.
He said he liked coaching against you, yeah.
Yeah, we had some good matches. Good dude.
Yeah, he said it's always an easy win. No, I'm just joking.
All right. Roan was down as they went back into position. She's up. Nice job. Grabs those hands, opens the gate, cuts those hips through. Back on her feet. Now let's see if Fettner's going to look for that head and arm again. She's come twice with it, John. What do you think? Your money on it? Oh, and then she wants to tried it again. Slipped it this time, did Roan. But again.
I'll put my mortgage on it. She hits it one more time.
All right, we've got John. Oh, nice little Prescott move there. I like that little shrug Prescott move by Roan for the Indians.
I like that,
yeah, Barry, that's a little bit of an advanced move.
Hey, it's only 3-4 right now, by the way, even though she's been on her back twice.
Yeah, good call. 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Nice job. Oh, now going in on the single leg. Head to the outside. Nice cross face by Roan. Not yet. Got the leg. Roan's got to get those hips around. She's trying to get the cross face.
If she hooks the foot, she gets 2, right, Jim?
It should. But again, Fettner coming back on the other side. And we're going to have 2 the other way. Nice movement. Did not quit wrestling.
Oh, man.
9 seconds, 8 seconds. You can see the bopper out there ready to give the official the time. 3 seconds as we're going to go into period number 2, 6-3. The young lady from Tuslaw. Boy,
man,
nice job.
Fire plug with that hips. You know, not just with the head and arm, but you saw her just now scramble on the mat with her hips and get that 2 points.
Absolutely. Well, I see TJ moved us over to mat number 1 there, partner. And Naus is leading the young man from Tuslaw. He is up 8-0 at this point. And looking at the second period, about 1:24 remaining.
I tell you what, he gets the major here. They take the lead in the team score, which they're going to need because they got, some big dogs coming up. So.
Yeah, there's some forfeits, and it's interesting, John, back in our day, right? I mean, the forfeits were put up on the team score for whatever reason.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, right, when they're accrued, or sometimes ahead of time, right? But at least when they're accrued. And I know that Northwest, I believe, did not start tonight with a 6 or 13 pounder, and Naus with the fall for the Mustangs.
And, John, I believe we were at – where was it that we were at where Naus got his 100th win?
At the Top Gun.
Yes, it was a Top Gun.
We let him take his picture behind us, yeah.
And shout out to our girl, Caitlin Allen with KMA Media, kind of rolling alongside us. She's here today. We had her with Top Gun with us, and she does a great job covering Tuslaw wrestling.
Great job.
She's out here this afternoon and into this evening. She'll be out here tomorrow as well.
All right, guys, getting ready to go out at the 144-pound weight class for Northwest. We have
check out this kid from Northwest.
Mr. Nair. Oh, he's set, man. He's online.
He's been waiting for 5 minutes.
And his opponent from Tuslaw is Nate Eberhardt. So Nair versus Eberhardt here on the men's mat.
Eberhardt's going to rock his kid.
You rock a tattoo like that guy's got on his thigh, man. You better be worthy of that, right?
He's been in the county, bro. Yeah, he's going to rock. He's gonna rock a pin here or a tech fall probably.
Eberhardt in on the single leg, has good position there, works his way to his right. Nair with the whizzer, and they go out of bounds. They'll come back to the middle. Nice defense by Nair to go back on their feet.
Yeah, he's working out with lines every day too, so that helps, Iron and sharpening iron.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how many times, John? I mean, you experienced it where, as you see people go further in the tournaments, it's always, those guys are wrestling every day, one weight class behind the other because they're making each other better.
Well, shoot, yeah, they're wrestling in the finals match every night in practice against their teammate, yeah.
All right, I know you can't see it right now, but the young lady from Northwest has the Tuslaw. TJ's going to swing us over there. She is on her back. Yeah, she was 9-8 this guard. Oh, and Nair on the other side. Boy, we can't keep the action for you.
Oh,
Nair
wow. Nair
has
with the throw,
Eberhardt
yeah.
on his back.
What a
Got a nice
surprise.
deep half in. Yeah, absolutely. Eberhardt fights out of it. But again, back over here on the women's mat. And time guns out in the second period.
Wow, she
3
did that.
points on the near fall for Miss Roan. Nice job.
So just to paint the picture, she was down, and she just now took the lead 12-8. And, hey,
Going into the third period, Fettner, she's going to go down in referee's position. Roan on the top. And we're going to see here, we'll see if our bout score is 12-8. A little bit of a kind of a little roll there attempt, trying to get out from underneath is Fettner. And nice job by Roan as she stays on top. And she, good position, kind of coming out in a little bit of a spiral ride position. Going to move back underneath, got the hips covered.
hey, and we are blessed with wrestling royalty.
Uh-oh.
Coach
Uh-oh. Look out.
Gary Define Sr. from Maslin Perry. In my opinion, probably one of the best coaches in the state of Ohio. But
Hey, I'll
anyway,
concur. I'll take a vote on that one. Gary, what's up, brother?
How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Also, I will say, huge Notre Dame fan.
Go Irish.
Go
All
Irish,
right.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Sorry,
we all
TJ.
can't be perfect, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Love those
Hey,
Buckeyes.
I love
Sorry,
the
TJ.
Buckeyes too, guys. Hey, who's this little guy? What's this? thing?
That's Bostic.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
that's our golf. I tell you what, if things get rough out here, we throw that out on the mat, and they look at Bostic and they ask him what's going to happen next.
Here's
Yeah.
the new brick.
We got the
New
brick as well.
Yeah, we got
New
the brick
brick.
as well. Yeah, so that's the green brick, red brick. Yeah. So
And I'll tell you what, John, real quick, Fettner had that. TJ, we see swung over there to the men's mat, but Fettner from Tuslaw going to swing back over.
Oh,
a nice
dude,
three.
yeah.
And we are at
Oh.
13-12 on our bout score over there. So, Gary, I'll tell you what, you guys, boy, you bailed out Coach Kalai. I know he's very appreciative. He told me that, they lost Lake early in the week. In fact, little story behind that. I don't think, Coach didn't find out till probably midweek. But, boy, thanks to you guys and what you guys have down there to bring a team up and jump in here this evening.
Oh, we love every chance. We love every chance to wrestle, and when you have opportunities like this nearby, obviously with great coaches, great other teams that really do a great job. You love when you can travel 30, 25 minutes up the road and get good quality matches, and the numbers, right? A lot of good matches today on the girls' side and the boys' side. And so we're thankful to be here, to be honest with you. Yeah, 2 days in a row. It's great.
And he's thankful for you to hear. And again, your women's team, absolutely. But I'll tell you what's nice, right, for the guys on your team. You have such a prolific starting lineup. I mean, obviously nationally ranked, the things that you guys have done. It's tough sometimes for that second, third guy, obviously, to break in the lineup. And for many teams I know in our area, your second, third guy are starting and succeeding in many programs about. So for them, you to bring them back up into the, into the varsity environment as much as I know you guys can, does nothing but, keep their confidence, keep them around, because we all know, right? I mean, next man up could happen at any time.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, right? And, historically, when you have a program or we're blessed enough to have a lot of kids that work real hard, and it's really outstanding when you have a chance at,
Oh, look at that pin.
Look at this.
Oh, he almost got it. Saved by the clock.
Look at that.
I told you that kid's, representing the county right now.
He did a nice step over earlier. A little chin whip to a step over. 2 earlier today. Yeah, it's really great to have the, when you get some of these guys that, like you said, are ultra competitive, to give them an opportunity too to show what they've been working on and show how they're getting better, and maybe there's an opportunity for them even at the end of this year, even next year. So it's the next man up mentality, right? All the programs are trying to be that. You watch the Ohio State Buckeyes. We were laughing about that earlier, but talk about
tonight,
a next man up mentality, right?
Yeah.
You look at the playoffs and the NFL teams, next man up mentality.
Look at the Browns.
Look at Cleveland. Goodness,
But 2, 3 deep, 4 deep on that starting line where a lineman had to come in, right? And, and be ready.
Absolutely. So if you do that at an early age and keep these guys focused on their own personal goals and pursuing their dreams, right? It doesn't always work how they think maybe, or how maybe even we think. But if they just keep working hard and keep grinding through it, you never know when that spot might open up for them. and give them a chance to really shine and show the rest of Ohio what they can do.
Well, and Coach Stefan talks about giving, respect where respect is due. I got to say, let's give it to Coach Stefan, Coach Flint McCollins, Coach Danny Jenin. I mean, we talk about Perry Wrestling and the success they've had over the years. Yeah, everybody talks about David Riggs, Nate Carr Sr. when he was there. But these guys,
let's not forget Brent McBurney.
Brent McBurney, yeah.
Leading
Brent
the ship
McBurney,
right now, baby.
You got guys like Tim Anderson and Johnny Foster, and
Tim Anderson,
Sean White. I mean, all these guys. That's a lineup in itself. You guys have a coaching lineup.
When they start the coaches' duels, no one's in. We're out.
Oh, no.
Hey, guys, real quick, if I can, only because, we had a chance to interview the young lady there from Norton. Again, as TJ had mentioned early on, team by committee. Norton brought down their one girl. This is their inaugural young lady for the Panthers. This is Lauren Ludwig. Lauren there wrestling, and the young lady from Brushy's wrestling, Miss Fox. Again, we apologize. Don't have her. Do you have
Olivia Fox?
Olivia, you got it.
Jim, one of the things I wanted to ask you, I know you had a chance. Obviously, you're very close with Coach Stats, and did you get a chance to talk and find out how she's done on the season thus far since we talked to her before it got started?
Right. Said she's doing well. A little bit over 500 record. I know over at the Akron North tournament there a week or two ago, she ended up placing, I believe it was 6th. So she got herself a placement there. He said that she placed over at the Chippewa. So she's placing in the tournament. She's kind of down at the lower end. But again, first year, First Lady Panther, and again, from that, he's going to use that as a catalyst to continue to build that side of the program.
Northwest is going to get another victory over there.
Again, our guest, Mr. Gary Define, our guest here, joining us for a little bit of time.
And Coach Define, tell us a little bit about the Perry girls here. I know you guys are here representing for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're up round 2, brother.
Yeah, we're coming up in round 2. We're a little bit banged up. We've got Michaela Meadow. She's coming off concussion, but she's cleared, so we're excited about her opportunity tomorrow in the tournament. Mia Forberg's in a boot today. Wow. She's going to be off this weekend, but she's done well. I think her record's 17-4 this year so far. Both those girls are freshmen. We're a young team. I could probably go up with the lineup, but we're doing a good job. We're learning, right? We're brand new.
As the season's progressed, though, I feel like from what we saw in the beginning of the year to, let's say, Top Gun, it just seems like it's gotten better and better every week, kind of reaching towards what you would call peaking at the end of the season. I feel like you guys are doing that, right? You feel that?
Yeah, we're sensing it, right? We've got a month before the region, 29 days before our pre-regional.
Well, that's coming from an Ohio State,
Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta, you gotta do the best you can when it matters the most, right? So look at this headlock. Whoa, whoa!
They're ripping faces off out there.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see, the boys on one side, girls on the other here today. This is really cool, real unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, you're joining SMG Network right here at Northwest High School. Friday night wrestling extravaganza. Our guest right now, Coach Gary Define from Maslin Perry.
Jim, it's not unique. We're going to call it's extravagant.
It's extravaganza.
It's an extravaganza. Okay. And then tomorrow, again, you talk about inaugural events. Tomorrow is Fear the Spear. It's going to be the first women's tournament to be held here at Northwest. I'm looking at the number of teams, quite a few teams. And, of course, some teams, 1 girl to 6 to 8. This depends. But, again, I'm counting here, looking over 20-some teams are going to be represented in the gym here tomorrow. So it's going to be really exciting. And we're going to bring it all live to you right here on SMG Network.
Tuslaw looking for the pin over here.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and we're going to have, is that Lyons or not yet? That might be Jacob Lyons. He was our boy we were talking about.
That is Jacob, yep.
Electric Wrestler of the Week at the MIT, again at the Holiday Classic.
Yeah, that was an awesome performance to be able to see firsthand. John, I hear you say it all the time that the pin is the ultimate equalizer.
Yes.
And he used that trailing to Xavier Falks, who's a pretty talented wrestler. And
pin over there.
Pin over there.
We just did a pin over here. Was it the Northwest girl that got it? Or?
Norton.
Norton. All right.
Yeah, she got the dub by
Bostic.
pin.
That's your people, man. Yeah, Stats.
Stats
Bostic.
brings her.
My Norton girl did. Now you
She
remember,
gets-
Gary.
she gets
That's
the pin.
my alma mater and my old coaching. Back when I was a head coach, there was the Panther. So that's great. All right, way to go, alma mater.
So,
I think she's doing pretty well. She's well above 500 now, Coach.
Be kind next round, Coach. Come on.
so wait. So Coach Riggs, you were his first state champion, right?
That is
Is
correct.
that correct? All right.
That is
Nice.
correct.
Yeah.
So we have an inaugural right here at the table.
Long
Yeah.
time ago.
We got a legend of the sport with us right now. Yeah, from Maslin Perry. Glad to have you, man. Especially because he's a Notre Dame fan. That makes it even better.
Hey,
TJ.
thanks for having
Yeah.
me. I appreciate you guys. It's great what you do here for the sport. For girls and boys, it's really cool.
And I'll tell you what, we really appreciate TJ giving us that opportunity. Of course, SMG Network going into almost year number 3 now, TJ, right? And starting on the football field, of course, where, he was quite prolific for many years, did some basketball. And, real quick, Gary, the way the story went straight up, man, 2 weeks before the Stark County preview, somebody, we had a meeting because somebody went to TJ and said, hey, you want to cover wrestling? And, I can't say what TJ said. He used, a nasty word. He goes, I don't know about wrestling.
Yeah.
He goes, what if I bring you some guys that do? And the rest is history. So we're really happy that he's giving us this opportunity to share
spoke
with
like
everybody.
That. Hey, my mother raised me right. I never
Well, I
said
know
those
she did,
words.
but
Come on.
maybe it was shoot. That's what it was.
was
It was
daggone
shoot.
it.
Yeah, daggone
Those
it.
daggone
Daggone
wrestlers.
But no,
Daggone it.
but I'll tell you what, Gary, he has drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh,
he has
yeah.
drank
Oh, yeah.
the Kool-Aid,
See,
and
tastes good, don't it?
Yeah.
Tastes good, don't it? That's right.
I love it. Well, guys, real quick over on the women's mat right now. It looks like we're at the 155-pound weight class. Young lady from Northwest. It's either going to be Miss Fowler or Miss Watts. And John, you got the brush line up there.
Jacob
Looks
Lyons
like,
able to get the fall there.
That's
Brooklyn Blaskin.
right. Yeah, that's Brooklyn Baskin. She's a sophomore over there at Brush, and man, she is athletic as all get out, man.
Yeah, very physical girl.
Yeah.
We've seen her in a couple of tournaments now. She's actually pinning the girl currently.
Yeah.
Basic half, strong, power half.
And it's hard to hit a girl with a half because they got such flexible shoulders, right?
She makes a muscle like that, running her half, she's going to turn everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're doing a good job over there.
So, Gary, I know obviously you're kind of a little bit into the dual season there, the Federal League. I mean, my goodness, 19 years? I think you guys have won the Federal League over there. How many?
20,
25 in a row.
25.
25
Whoa.
straight. So I
25.
apologize.
This is like Iowa, man.
Left
Dan Gable, Iowa conference champ.
Left a few off, but anything outside tournament-wise yet before we get ready for the run that you guys are going to be at or doing yet? I mean, I know you've hit some great tournaments this year.
Yeah, no, I think really what we're working on right now is the state dual season. Starts up.
Oh, that's right.
You
Coming
know,
up, yeah.
It's coming up. Is it next week?
In a week, yeah.
I got
In
my
a
head
weekend.
down with the girls team, so forgive me on
Okay.
the dates.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's coming up. in a
next
weekend, yeah.
weekend. Our eyes are focused on that.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you can help us with this or not, but has anybody scored on the boys in the Federal League yet? I know you guys have blanked Jackson. You guys blanked Lake the other night.
I don't believe we've given up a point.
Wow.
But
Wow.
That's impressive.
I don't believe so.
That's awesome.
It's one of the goals. We set a lot of goals, right?
Yeah.
You try to you game high and you shoot for them, right? You pursue it. So we're definitely pursuing that amongst other things. One is state duels, and then of course individual and team state championships. Middle of March this year, right, guys?
Greater
Second
later,
week,
right?
second week of March,
Second
baby.
week now,
Yep,
yeah.
Second weekend.
Yeah.
All right, guys, over on the women's mat right now for the Indians, we have Miss McKinney. We're at 170 pounds. And, John, who do we have from Brush?
We got Michaela Shaw. She's a junior, and man, she ain't playing, bro.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is physical. Scored
Yeah.
2-0 right now, on top and grinding.
I'm telling you guys, we saw Brush a few weeks back. I can't remember the tournament, but I'm going to tell you, they are physical. They bring the intensity. They show up to wrestle.
She's about to get the pin. Yeah,
Listen,
Michaela.
back-to-back girls getting pins with strong halves.
Nice half. Nelson has the weight down.
Wow.
Boom, there's a slap of the mat,
Damn.
and that will do it.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Miss Shaw with the victory.
You
Well
ain't
done.
kidding.
All right.
I like the celebration.
Swinging back over at the men's mat.
Little bit-
Time runs out in the, looked like the possibly first period.
She did a little Cardi B move out there for a celebration.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. So we got what is it? What's the team score here? 17-24? Is that? Am I reading that right?
Yeah. If they're keeping team score up top, which would be awesome and make sense if they were.
So Tuslaw's up.
Well, green should be the home team, but I'm not sure on the coin flip, who is who. But if they are green, John, you are correct right now.
I believe Jacob Lyons his score was in the green, so.
Okay. Oh, slips off coming
Bad
over
idea.
top.
Yeah.
Reversal there. It looks, this could be at 165. Not sure. If so, that's Silman for the Indians versus Brown. Mr. Brown, that would be Luke Brown for Tuslaw.
For Tuslaw, okay.
Again, that's provided we're looking at the 165-pound weight class.
Shout out to Tuslaw, man. They're Division III. They're coming in here full swinging against a tough D2 lineup. Yeah.
This is a heck of a duel right here. Northwest and Tuslaw.
Nice half Nelson there. Couldn't get it down. Brings it back. Kind of has the legs in there on the near side. Let's see what he's going to do with them. Everything little parallel there. Going to try to put the half in on the left-hand side. Guys looking like trying to weak it through. 56 seconds remaining in the second period. 8-2 our bout score. Northwest on top.
Shout out to Chase Horvath, too. Always does a great job kind of plugging us in on what's going on with Tuslaw wrestling. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to kind of watch them as they've grown here through the last 2 years with those guys in the lineup that have they've thrived. We talked about Sam, Jake, there was a couple other guys that we were able to see last year at the state tournament that are no longer on the team now that have graduated, but there's been quite a few good wrestlers that have come through the program here over the last couple of years.
And we talk a lot about shoe game with Sonny Marchetti and things like that. One thing we always know as Coach Stefan is Perry wrestling coach staff has the coaching game when it comes to gear, man. Is that Reshot that covers you guys?
Oh,
or?
yeah. Dante, he's awesome. He helps us out and, it gets us gear. And, these girls especially, right? The brand new program, Perry wrestling everything, but no Perry girls wrestling stuff. So, yeah, we're banging on Dante's door for the great gear. But, yeah, these zip-ups, check them out. They're great,
love that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
So, nice. Jim, it was correct. So, Northwest is in the red, on the red side of the poll. So, we do have a 24-23 lead for Tuslaw. So,
we got a matchup.
Coach, you talked about it, man. This is a heck of a duel right here.
I'm telling you, yeah, this duel, it's worth the price of admission. Just at what? There's going to be 6 duels tonight? 8? Yeah. This one's worth the pay. This one's worth the admittance right here.
$7. Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Well matched. Well, I'll tell you what. TJ had the camera over on the women's match, guys. The last women's match for round number 1, at least in the lineup, Miss Holling from Northwest got the pin at 190 pounds against. Who you got there, John?
Elania Steele. She's a freshman only.
Was a freshman. So nice job.
Hard act to follow still. Yeah, from Brush there. Shout out to Brush coaching staff. You got some, people behind the scenes, almost like Coach Stefan here at Madison Perry. Help painting the picture there. So Coach Barry Simon, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He wrestled for Indiana back in.
Coach Simon.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, and then he wasn't honorable mention or anything like that out there at Hoosiers, but he kind of saved that Brush program, and then he stayed involved in the background as helping out wherever he could. Regardless if they need him in the room, they need him be there at the tournament on the weekend. If they need help, funding the warm-ups, So
no doubt. Oh, yeah. Another headlock attempt over there.
Yeah, we have a couple. I think we have a couple exhibition-type matches are going to run for the ladies over there. I guess at 125 pounds. Oh, nice job on the armbar. Takes it over, slap of the mat, and that'll do it.
Yeah, that was Precious Warman, man. Nothing precious about that. She just got
No, she's doing a nice job this year, yep. That's 125-pounder for Northwest. I'm not certain of her name.
Alexis, I can't remember her last name there.
Northwest got a crew, man, on the girls. I'd like to see them duel Minerva girls. Minerva got
Minerva has a nice program down there.
They're doing a good job too.
I'd like to see that happen. Yeah, that would be a heck of a duel. Yeah, they got a full lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went down there to Carroll, Tucky, and watched them battle it out with the girls first and then the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And
He said it, Jim. We didn't.
yeah. Yeah. Well, shout out to my boy Jenkins down there.
Does anybody know
Carrollton.
the final from last night when they took on Salem? Carrollton-Salem duel last night?
Oh, that's right. That was a conference.
The only one I saw was the 75-0 beatdown from the Panthers.
I'm not surprised.
And I know that Hoover, I believe, edged Green in a close one. I think it was maybe a little bit closer than what Hoover thought it was going to be. I know that Glen Oak and McKinley also squared off as well.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't catch the other scores in the league.
What was Glen Oak and McLean squaring off for? Just
Federal League duel.
Federal
okay.
duel.
All right.
Now, I'll tell you what, guys, next week, kind of excited, again, a first for SMG Network. We are actually going to be broadcasting an adaptive basketball game. It's going to be the senior night over at Jackson High School as the Polar Bears, adaptive basketball, wheelchair basketball, will be competing.
That's cool.
And very excited to open up that theater here with SMG Network. Those young men and women, obviously,
That's really cool,
the disabilities they go through in their life every day. And I'll tell you what, I'm so excited. TJ opened up that door for us, and we're going to be able to share that with so many folks. I PA that have done it for almost 3 years. Guys, I'm telling you, it's the most heartwarming thing you've ever seen in your life. Incredible.
I believe it.
Incredible.
That's awesome, Jim. That's next weekend, you said?
Actually, I think it's going to be the 31st. TJ, I'm just giving him that date. That is the last game of season. It'll be senior night. Pep band shows up. It's a great crowd. Last 2 years, it's awesome, and those kids deserve it. And I'm so happy SMG Network's going to be there to bring it to our fans.
Glad to see that, yeah.
Well, it looks like the first round of the women's are done, and with that, I think Coach Define's going to be getting his girls ready, right, Coach?
Yeah, he has to go get them
warmed
up.
Sir,
All right,
I'm going to go
Coach.
warm these guys up. We have our hands full
You're the
here.
best, Gary. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for what you do for the sport. Appreciate you very much.
Best of luck coming up here, Coach.
Look, he took Bostic down.
He did that back in the day all the time during youth wrestling. We coached against each other.
He took Bostic down with harsh language.
All right, our guest again, Gary Define.
We'll have to watch
Coach.
Rudy
Great
together
to have
sometime.
him with us. Yeah, boy, you and your Rudy. I love it. Well, TJ's got us over on the men's mat, or actually swinging over there. I'll tell you what, again, as Gary said, great dual match. 24-23 is our match score. The Mustangs up by 1. Bout score right here is 4-2. The Mustang wrestler on top. I'm trying to get a Corey.
Tell you what.
What weight is that? 175. All right.
So I tell you what, if I could be any kind of horse right now, man, I don't think I want to be a thoroughbred. I want to be a Mustang.
Oh, Corey over here.
Jim?
Corey,
they need you, bro.
All right, again, Russell 1 here again with the clocks helping things out tonight as they prepare tomorrow to be leading things during the Fear the Spear, the Northwest inaugural women's tournament. Again, over 20 teams will be here, and SMG is going to be bringing it to you live.
Shout out to Chris Kayla Jr. I heard him say if anybody messes with him today, he's going to soup him. So.
I feel bad. Chris a little distraught here. Had a little, as TJ had shared early on, had a little internet issue. They're still. I'm looking over at the port. They're still trying to figure that out.
They're working it, man. I'll tell you what.
I think they may have got it, TJ.
Never any quit, man. I'll tell you what. We want to give just a quick message here. If we do cut off for a second and lose anybody out there, it is because we will kind of power down for just a second and jump on that internet here. We've kind of been streaming off of a hotspot. We want to make sure you get your best clarity on these matches, as we'll be here, as Coach Define mentioned. I mean, it's worth the price of admission just to see what you just saw right here. It's still 24-23, and there's going to be a lot of other great wrestling coming up.
4-2 second period, TJ. Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is dynamite. Like I said, I mean, you got Tuslaw. Yeah, keep in mind that they're D3 contenders. You know what I mean? So they're coming here to Northwest's home turf. Northwest is D2, and they're giving it right to them, man. They're right in their face.
They're great. Both teams well matched. Now, looking down through the lineup, and again, we talked a little bit about the holes, the forfeits that teams have. Now, looking down here on Coach Patreem's lineup at 190 at 285, at least in the lineups here, I do not see anybody there at earmarked in, but we'll see what happens. It's, again, getting down to the wire here.
He didn't want to say. Tried to find out what happened. He said.
Yeah, I think we have a clock. Something's happened with the computer, and the clock's there, disconnect. So we're
that's the one
hold.
that we were looking at earlier with the green Ethernet cable. Yeah, there was something. Cause see that green Ethernet cable that goes to that clock. So that's what I was telling Chris earlier. I said, hey, if that one is showing that it's up and going, here's the problem. Your main powerhouse core, that yellow one, isn't. So, you got to go where where the foundation is.
And
Look at you throwing out the tech stuff, man.
A lot of the issues that you run into when you're here inside of the school is everything is firewall encrypted to make sure that nothing is ever tampered with when you come to student files and transcripts and important protected information from your administration and faculty. Jim, on that side, I mean,
which is great. Yeah,
it's data that you have to make sure is protected.
Yes.
But for us and for somebody like Wrestle One Tournaments, when you go to tap into that, then all of a sudden you have to deal with issues of being blocked by that firewall and having access and shutting down all of the internet. So they're kind of getting things figured out here. And as I mentioned, we will kind of cut over. We will drop off, come right back on. Quick little 10, 15-second break, and we'll be back on here in just a sec. We'll hold on and we'll bring some more guests on here after we switch over to that internet feed. But we'll have that same feed that'll be up for you tomorrow for Fear the Spear as well.
All right, looks like they got the clock taken care of, guys, over here on the men's mat. 4-3 is our bout score. The young man from Tuslaw on top. Again, this should be, it's either Gunnar Eberhardt or Donovan Moretta. Not sure which of the two that Coach Petrim has into the lineup right now, but he's winning 4-3. Boy, nice snap down with the head there, trying to get in that front headlock position. He's got to get him down on the mat a little bit. He's trying. Maybe a cross hip would be a little instructive there from the old coaching days. We'll see. 134. Oh. And the official is going to say a little potentially dangerous. Yeah, kind of pulling up on that
now
neck.
I know why my guy, Coach John DeMarco, is back here because he's checking in on his guy, Gunnar. Gunnar played some good football for him.
Okay. That makes sense.
Well, I'll tell you what, and again, we don't, not seeing the lineup, but guys, here's a in during our football season, Mr. Connor Satterfield. Satterfield now in the lineup for the Indians, and according to Mr. Talarchik, and we were talking a little bit earlier, actually had Mr. Cody Fair, in harm's way for just a moment there during a match here earlier in the season. But Connor, is just a heck of an athlete. My
Jim,
gosh.
you got a chance to cover a couple of those games. How impressive was it to watch him not only run the ball, but go over and play defense?
TJ, we talked about it right in our Wednesday shows. I brought his name up. Probably people were like, all right, Bostic, enough of Satterfield. But he was that impressive. I mean, just like you said, running the ball, then goes defense on the linebacker side, middle linebacker. And, the stamina, the power, the intelligence. And now to come out here in wrestling and be part of this lineup. I think it's his first year wrestling, guys.
Wow.
I'm not sure that he was in the lineup or with the Indians. But, again, I could be wrong. Like I had Anthony Miller not wrestling this year, right?
Right. Hey, I tell you what, and, it's my first year as a Swiftie, so, shout out to Kansas City this weekend.
You're what? I'm not. Oh,
I do not catch you
Swiftie.
there.
Never mind. Now I got it. Yeah, boy. There you go. 10 seconds remaining here in the third period. 8-4. The young man from Northwest on that last series there. Ooh, watch that coming down the head a little bit. No sense getting silly here. 2 seconds. You're going to come away with a decision and a win.
Wow.
3 points on the team score, guys. 26-24. The Indians go on top.
Man, and what a, for something like this to have officials at this level for a dual match, that's amazing.
Well, state official there. I mean, all the officials here, are very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Johnny, that you mentioned it again.
You got a head table over there.
Unless you want to put on a headset, we'll check you in.
Yeah, we'll check you in.
I love it.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, yeah. It's all right. We got him checked in, Coach.
Yeah, we checked him in. Yeah.
He's good to go.
Yep.
Right. And all right, now it looks like we're going to possibly at 190. I'm guessing that Coach Petrine has jumped up. My guess would be this might be Donovan Moretta would be a guess because he weighed in 2 guys at 175.
It ain't looking promising for him, though. Yeah, he's spotting some weight. But Tuslaw boy look like he's spotting some weight too, though. So we'll see. I don't have.
No, that's who Tuslaw would be. I don't have my lineup. Hey, I'll tell you what, pull that picture I sent you up of the lineups.
Is that
you'll get the Northwest.
Is this our guys right here?
This is Tuslaw.
Okay.
So this I'm guessing
that's
is
Moretta.
Donovan
Oh,
Moretta.
definitely Moretta. All right. So wait, where's our?
So we don't have a Northwest one. So grab your phone. I sent you a picture.
My phone died.
Oh, okay, dead phone. 2 points takedown is the call for our young man from Northwest. And looking at the men's lineup, this is 190. This is Mr. Griffith.
I was too busy watching Taylor Swift videos, and my phone battery died. I'm just, hoping her and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
All right.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, it's already scripted. It's going to be San Francisco and Baltimore. So
I've been seeing that a lot. I saw Fox
I'm
News.
calling it right now.
Fox News already posted that by accident. Yeah, they didn't mean to. Yeah.
And with the halftime entertainment. All right, 2 points. It's not Taylor Swift either.
I tell you what, me and TJ love Lamar Jackson.
Oh, Bulls right back in with the half Nelson. Sunk this one deep. He's not coming. Oh, there's the fall. Northwest with the fall as they'll extend their lead 32-24 going into the 215 weight class. We talked about him earlier. TJ, Johnny, here he is, Connor Satterfield for the Indians.
Yeah, he's a grown man, bro. Yeah, he got the fully facial hair and everything,
Holy, he could braid that thing.
Yeah, he's going to get a forfeit, I think, it looks like, which I don't blame Tuslaw there, man.
Satterfield does get the forfeit.
I wouldn't want to fight that dude, man.
Why double forfeit that bad boy? Jump him to heavyweight.
Maybe, if it gets too dark out here in the parking lot, he'll walk us out to our vehicle.
All right, guys, real quick, we are going to power down, so we want to let everybody know listening to the live stream on SMG Network. We will be right back. We're going to pop up some new internet for you and get you a stronger feed. We will be back with more just after this.
And it looks like Northwest does got the win here in the duel, by the way, 38-24.
I know we're not on. Who's the guy from Northwest? They don't even have a guy in their lineup. Look, this guy's a beast.
Okay, disconnect.
That's Mickey McPherson, local guy.
Holy smoly, look at that.
All right.
Tell you what.
Nice looking kid at heavyweight.
Yeah, football player.
So that shouldn't be a Wi-Fi. Will it be hardline?
Defensive lineman, one of TJ's guys. Spin around. Keep it simple. And
I'll tell you what, though. Right? Smart. The kid's probably maybe not wrestled for a while. Give him 2 or 3 moves. Something right into his wheelhouse. Hard snap down. Use that power. Use that muscle. That's 2 beautiful snap downs. Give him a half Nelson. Stand up. That's all you need. Just work it.
Yeah, especially in these duels, if you got to bump guys around to make the matchup happen.
All right, guys. Let's do this here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and give us another little soft intro here, and we will rock right into it since we're on this new internet here. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in, everybody, on the SMG Network live streams powered by TKDS Sports and presented by Hilscher Clark Electric Company. Hello again, everyone streaming us live on smgnetwork.tkdsports.com. We apologize for the interruption. We are on a new feed now. We are rocking and rolling back here on the campus of Northwest Local Schools here in Canal, Fulton. Myself, TJ Downing, Jim Bostic, and John Lowery. Jim, we just got a chance to watch, it's still going on here. It's kind of been battling back and forth between Northwest and Tuslaw. We had Coach Gary Define from Perry on here with us, kind of talking about, hey, this is worth the price of admission in its own right. We had a chance to just see the girls going at it. That was Northwest and also Brush. When you start to think about some of the things that will be coming up here this evening, before we talk about tomorrow, we have a lot of wrestling left to go here for Friday night for the Friday Night Wrestling Extravaganza.
Absolutely, brother. We're only round 1's not even done yet, man, except on the boys' side. So, round number 2 getting ready to go with the ladies. It's going to be Perry High School versus Brush High School, and round 2 is going to see Tuslaw versus a combination of Perry and Walsh. Remember, talking with Gary a little bit earlier, great job. Thank you to Coach McBurney for bringing up his B team. So the B team of Walsh and the B team of Perry are going to combine in round number 2 to take on Tuslaw.
There you go.
So should be exciting.
My alma mater, combining with my backup alma mater, the Panthers, man. That's cool.
Well, you called it earlier, John, just before we went offline. It looks like that the Indians have this one sewed up. But I'll tell you what, as I looked at the lineups that Art had given us earlier, he did not have anybody in the heavyweight, position. But this young man, we got to find out who this is. Well, he's a nice-looking young man. Obviously, you can tell he's raw, right? I mean, probably a football player they pulled out of the hallways. But I'm gonna tell you what, you got something to work with here.
I gotta say this, just to go back to Perry's program. I was never a big Perry fan until I found out Define was actually a huge Notre Dame fan. So then, I had a whole newfound respect for the whole Masson Perry program after that. So.
Well, you went one way, I went the other, but that's okay. Oh, the half Nelson is in. It is deep. Hips are tight. I think we're going to get a fall here to wrap it up. A forfeit. And there it is, the pin. And the young man from Northwest. Yeah. Well done, and the
best from Northwest.
Indians are going to come away with round 1 victory, 44-24.
They're not the Guardians; they're the Indians.
No, man, they are the Indians. I'll tell you what, I've got to find out who that young man is.
That's a tough
exciting.
Dude, man. Yeah, he was electric with the big pin. Wait, well, I think we know who he is. I'm guessing is that his daddy right here?
No, that's Sean Lazarus there. His son is not.
That's not him.
That's not his son.
Okay.
I think, Jim, you mentioned his son is roughly around
about 150. Yes, sir. Yep. So, teams are going to cross their way. They're going to shake some hands. And that's going to do it for round 1. Both teams, and I'll tell you what, guys, round 1 is done. But none of this happens without the great sponsors that we have that make this come to you live. And we want to shout out so many of our sponsors for giving us this opportunity, giving you the opportunity to watch wrestling here on Friday night. Thank you to Walsh University. Great job over there. Tej, you gave me the honor to call a college football game this past year. That was a little bit different over there at Walsh. And really appreciate that. And what can you say about the Leatherneck Nations Motorcycle Club, right, John? I mean, what those guys do for our veterans and the help that they give is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Hey, my daddy was a soldier, so, that means a lot to me.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you what, everything that's going on in our world right now, we just got to keep all of our men and women that are in the service. Our National Guard, right? A lot of things happening right now down in Texas. We got to keep an eye down there. But prayers and shout out to all of them. C.H. Fallows and Associates, Safe22.vet, H&H Truck Parts, Cackley Insurance, LPL Financial. The Lindsay's Pizza, man. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, Lindsay's Pizza would sure be good tonight. And who knows, we get through round number 3, maybe we will have to call up and get ourselves a pie. McNeil & Sons Tree Service, the Drive Mine Group, Lace and Dagger Tattoo Company. TJ, you got to introduce me to those guys, right? I told you, I know I'm old, but
he's ready for some ink.
I'm thinking about getting a little bit of ink. Mrs. Bostic said it'd be okay, but not going to say where. But anyhow, and Nathan's Patio. So again, we can't thank those sponsors enough, and of course our presentation sponsor this evening, as always, Hilscher Clark Electric Company. And guys, we're going to have a Hilscher Clark Electric wrestler.
I think I got one already.
You already got one?
Round
Connor
1? Sadsfield. That was the heavyweight. That was he bumped up.
Connor was the heavyweight.
Yeah, he bumped up from 215 in that. That's what we just saw. Yeah.
And Jim, I think during football season, he roughly was carrying himself at about 220, 225.
Yeah.
He's a guy that, he's got the ability. He got into the weight room with the guy Jason Greenfield, and all of our Northwest fans that are listening to us right now, they know that name. He was one of the legendary players over the last few years. Graduated. Took Connor Satterfield into the weight room with him in the offseason because I believe Connor was carrying under 200 last football season, had him amped up to about 215, 220. So that 20, 30 pounds he put on in the weight room, a lot of that was because of his buddy Jason Greenfield.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That wheat germ oil, man. Yeah.
Big, dropping the whey. A little bit of whey powder. Well, okay. So, totally wrong there. I had Connor at 215. You know, I don't think I really saw Connor without his helmet. So
right, no, same here. Yeah, we had no idea that was
right.
I just checked in with Coach Stats, and he said, yeah, that was him. Yeah,
that was impressive. I'll tell you what. You know,
he looked 30 pounds bigger. Yeah.
You know, we were talking while we were off air, right? You know, as coaches, and I'm sure Art is doing this. All you need to do for a young man like that, give him 2 or 3 pieces of technique that fall into the wheelhouse of his body structure, his strength. You know, give him something on 1 or 2 things off the bottom. Nice half Nelson cradle on top. Just keep it very basic, keep it fundamental. And through his athleticism alone, you know, I could see that young man definitely at minimum getting to districts, and with a good draw, who knows, make his way down to the shot in March. It'll be exciting to follow that journey.
No, 100%. You know, speaking of
hey, I think we messed up with the Maslin Perry coaching lineup here. We forgot one Kovac out there.
Yeah, Trav. Old Trav. His daddy goes, Trav. Trav.
Is that Joe?
That's Joe Kovac.
Yep.
You know, now he's a Carrollton guy originally, so you know, when I make fun of Carroll Tucky, man, I got good reason for it. But anyway, North Akron boy with me. So me and Travis were at back-to-back in the lineup at North Akron.
Larry Jenkins is gonna come looking for you, man.
I tell you, he will be. But if he knew Joe Kovac, he knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, they used to come up to North Akron, and me and Travis were probably the worst 2 guys in the lineup at North Akron. But you know, we had to hold our own, and it's cool to see Travis out there now coaching, man, and. He definitely knows probably more than most of these guys out here.
I mean, if you want to know why they're going for their 26th straight Federal League championship in wrestling, I mean, you guys kind of made some comparisons to it, but to me it feels like the Mount Union football of high school wrestling. I mean, because I think Mount is working on something like 30 straight OAC titles in football. It's like, wow. I mean,
25 Federal League championships, man.
Well,
that's it.
You know, you guys both coached. What is it going to take for somebody in the Federal League to kind of make that push? I've had this conversation with our guy Jamie Falls Night, story time, right? And I said, listen, who has come close in those last 25 years to pushing them? And he said Hoover maybe had 1 year, but really, as a program for the other 6 Federal League teams, how do you put yourself in a position to compete against that when Coach Devine just told us nobody has scored a point on those boys all year this year?
You got to have a feeder program.
In Federal League action.
Yeah, it's all about the feeder team, man. Perry has Flint McCollins, Danny Jenden, who you've seen out there, even Kovac running that feeder program, which was well established by David Riggs back in the day. And you got a feeder team like that, man, that's a hard act to follow. You know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, when I was at Walsh Jesuit, we had North Akron, which was established by Bill Barger. But anytime you see a good feeder program, you know, pumping in champs into a system like that, you got success breeding success. And, you know, I was talking to, you know, that the boy out there with the glasses on. I think he said he's wrestled in 106 form. You know, we did agree that, you know, Coach Jennen is the ugliest of the Perry coaches. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, TJ, you asked that question, and I'm going to shout out my partner and one of our color guys for our football broadcasting, J.R. Supas. J.R.'s out there. When you ask that question, I guarantee J.R. is on the floor laughing right now going, go ahead, Jimmy, answer it truthfully. So I'm going to really kind of bypass that question for you, partner. I've got some very strong feelings about that as a former high school administrator, things like open enrollment, non-open enrollment, what's permitted, what's not. You know, what's it going to take? The way the system and way things sit right now, it'll be very hard ever to overtake them.
Are we sitting here saying that it's never going to happen? I mean, you never say never.
No. Never say never, but it's going to be a long time.
Oh, yeah, long time.
It's going to be a long time, and there's reasons behind that.
They have let's be honest, their coaching staff, you know, Coach Define, Jeneden, even Kovac, they could all coach at the college level if they wanted to. They have. I mean, you bring that to the table. You know, in your kids coming into high school, where do you want your kid to wrestle for?
Well, you know what, Johnny, though, it's a real catch-22, right? And I can tell you this from a lot of experience, right, is that people start looking into a practice room. When you look at a practice room, you know, or a room like Perry, and, you know, you have other practice rooms or your team, and you think for your kid to be a little bit better, you want him in that kind of an environment. Like you said early on, iron sharpens iron. It's tough for programs to build, right, when kids continue to, look elsewhere into other places. So it'll be a while, but like TJ said, never say never. And guys, am I seeing things here now?
With greatness now.
Putting on the headset, joining us,
Wrestling
the man
royalty
behind this Friday night extravaganza. The
That's
initial
Bostic,
Fear the Spirit tournament, wrestling right here at Northwest High School. Ladies and gentlemen, their head coach, Mr. Art Kali. Art, thanks for joining us, brother.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for coming out and hanging out with us for a while.
We seen you doing a little hybrid coaching, I call it. You were over here at the men's match. And
multitasking at its finest.
Like we've talked about this before when we were at the Ironman. Team Northwest Wrestling is we don't separate it. One team, one dream. Girls and boys, we practice together. We work together. We promote wrestling together. It's our family business, right, Jimmy?
No, absolutely, brother. I'll tell you what, though, Art. Now you just threw out one team, one dream. John's going to have that painted above his bed here soon. Jeez.
I won't tell you where I got it.
Yeah, don't tell us. We'll have to claim it. So, no, Art, I'll tell you what, just outstanding. Great first round. Congratulations there. It was nip and tuck. I got to ask, brother, how did you get Mr. Satterfield to join the ranks of the wrestling? I'm excited, dude. I was telling these guys, and I know what you're doing, right?
Yep.
It's very fundamental, couple very basics, right in onto his strengths.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what, I was telling these guys, I could definitely see getting into districts and with a good draw. You never know what happens with athletes like that.
Right. And he's an exceptional football player. And my assistant coach, Sean Lazarus, who is the defensive line coach for us. Yeah.
He was a Michigan grad?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
He is.
Now, Pete, John, in one broadcast, I hear Notre Dame and Michigan. You're killing me, man.
Go Bucks.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks,
so
TJ.
anyway, Laz has a construction company, and they were on the job site, and they were talking about wrestling. They were talking about football, and Connor's trying to get. He is being recruited by a few colleges. I don't know which ones. But on his visits, you know that they look for multi-sport athletes.
Yes,
And so Laz promoted our wrestling program.
Real quick, Art, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Please say that again for our many young coaches out there, our parents out there that think about specialization. What did you just say?
Well, multi-sport athletes are extremely important.
Coaches like that, don't they?
Definitely.
College coaches.
wrestle,
Okay, I thought that.
College coaches love that.
Speaking of one in particular, Urban Meyer, I'll say his name because he said his favorite athletes to recruit were football players that wrestled. Yes.
Yep. And so with Satterfield's visits that he's doing, Coach Laz promoted wrestling and the types of exercises and warm-ups and all those things that we do in practice and how that would help a football player, a linebacker specifically. And we kind of wore him down, to be honest with you.
Good job.
And he listened, and he came in the room about 3 weeks ago. We got him certified, and he's 2-1.
And now here's the heart, right? Here's the tear as longtime coaches as you and I are. Think about if that kid even comes out his freshman year, where he stands today as a senior. I mean, he's vying for a state championship.
Most likely.
My opinion.
He's
at least in the top. No, he's on the podium.
100
minimum.
And he's as athletic as he is and as hard of a worker as he is. And
the mindset.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, Connor went out there with high energy in that match, man, and took it over.
And he's only been here for about 3 weeks, and so we got to kind of end it early, if that makes any sense. We're going to go out high energy, wear the guys down because he is stronger. And our style, Northwest style, is kind of beating you down for a while, wearing you down with the leg rides. You guys saw that. Heavy hands on our feet, and then we win matches in the third period like we were able to do tonight. And Sat is, great kid, and he's bought into that already.
Prolific for that style of wrestling.
Yeah, he's perfect for that.
All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, our guest right now, head coach of the Northwest Indians, Art Kali, is our guest. Art, let's shift over to the ladies. Maddie Beggart, man, I'll tell you what, you told me she dropped from 115 to 110.
She did.
Obviously making the commitment to say, as TJ pointed out earlier, placed last year at the state tournament, I believe number 4.
Fifth.
And
I got her picked as my number 1 for this year.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
thank you.
and I'm sure that, yeah, right. I mean, where we go, we're going to get above 5, right? We're going to get in those top 3,
Yes,
if
exactly.
not win it, as well as just the fact that, again, the ladies, great job tomorrow, Fear the Spirit. Talk a little bit about Maddie and what we can look in store for tomorrow.
Well, Maddie, she was having a good season already, but she was, if you could believe this, she thought she was struggling at 115.
Okay.
And yes, and so we had a talk with her family and made the decision to cut her down to 110. And
It makes sense, yeah.
yeah, and we said, okay, we'll do this, see how she feels. She looked great at Chippewa at 110.
Yeah.
And she pinned her way through the tournament for 4 or 5 matches. She felt good. She's lighter on her feet, all that kind of stuff. The cut was not very hard at all.
She was moving really good out there, yeah.
Yep. So she's an excellent worker. She helped us recruit the girls that we have.
Oh, that's good.
And so she's just an all-around good kid.
It's like having a coach out on the mat almost, huh?
Somewhat. She's
Yeah.
not a very vocal leader. She leads by example.
Yeah, okay.
And does a great job.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we're here wrestling side by side, girls on one mat, boys on the other, and they're getting their due also.
How about that? Yeah. Double leg to the back already
Yeah,
out the gate.
you can tell that's a Perry kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
The
Art,
basics.
when
yes.
you when I know obviously putting this thing together with multiple different girls here because not everybody can fill
Right.
a lineup.
Right.
How did that all kind of come about? And I mean, obviously a lot of legwork on your end to be able to make sure, hey, these people are not going to be able to make it, so I need somebody else to step up. I know
Right.
that Perry came up in a big way and really was a big fill-in.
The folks over at Perry, they were a huge help. Coach McBurney, I have him on speed dial basically.
Yeah.
Told him we were in a bad spot, and he says, well, we'll bring a boys and a girls team over,
Oh, okay.
and we'll help you out. Again, it's just trying to get athletes matches, and Coach McBurney believes in that too. Last year, the girls matches was an all-comers meet, and we probably had 50 girls here, and
Wow.
it was kind of a madhouse to get everybody matches.
Everybody match, yeah.
And so this year we decided to do a little bit more of a dual format. So I went looking for teams that
Smart.
had 7 or 8 or 9 girls or whatever they had, so it could look something like a dual meet. And then call my wrestling buddies that I've picked up in the last couple of years here in
Yeah.
Ohio to fill some of those weight classes. So it's worked out great.
I tell you what I'd love to see is your Northwest girgirls versus Minerva girls.
That would be fun.
That would be fun,
That would
yeah.
be fun. Carrollton's coming tomorrow.
Okay,
And I know,
all right.
I know Riley. They're 190-pounders. I'm excited to see her wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Chippewa's coming tomorrow again with
East Liverpool, I saw.
East Liverpool
Yeah,
cannot
but-
make it, unfortunately.
Oh, no,
They
okay.
canceled a couple days ago.
Well,
so.
you remember we watched. They had
Yes.
the star at the Ironman.
At the Ironman, yeah.
Yeah, when we saw the Chippewas at Ironman, I'll tell you what, we were really impressed. I mean,
Yes.
those girls were out there competing, and they have a pretty solid lineup themselves. Right? I don't know if completely full, but I know we count at least 7 to 8 of them competing.
Right,
out there.
and right now I think their numbers are down a little bit. Grades and stuff like that happen, but they're here.
A couple of those Doylestown girls, right, have been part of our USA Wrestling women's
That-
program for
oh,
the last
yeah.
couple of years.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
it's nice to see them,
It-
going in.
And I'm promoting the women's national team all over the place. Anybody that I can talk to,
Team Ohio.
Team Ohio.
Wait a minute, I'm the
Tell
team
them
leader. How many girls am I going to have this
You're
year,
going to
brother?
have more than you had last year.
Oh, my goodness.
And a bunch of them are going to be wearing scarlet and gray.
Jim, you going out to Fargo?
Yeah, I go out just about every year.
I
In fact,
heard-
that's where Art and I met years ago.
Years and years
We
ago.
got
I
a
heard
chance.
the mosquitoes out there the size of a coffee cup. Is that true?
Yeah, they will carry you off.
Yeah, that's
Oh
it.
man.
So you got a Maslin girl here on Mount One with getting a turn. She's wrestling. She wrestling up a weight class to get the
at
Brush
that.
girls some matches.
And that's a hard move to do. A half
Yeah.
on a girl, right?
Was
Flexibility.
this the Maslin girl that was competing at Ironman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she works out with us. We have made an agreement with their coaching staff and OHSAA.
Yeah.
Katie comes and works out with the Indians, but she still competes as a Maslin Tiger.
Right. Nice job on
Well,
the fall.
Tiger strong, man.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Well
Dang.
done.
That's good stuff.
Now, I know you
That's
and I
cool.
did.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I talked to you early on of the season about maybe the same concept there with Coach Stats and the young Ludwig girl. Do you guys ever
Right.
get a chance?
Yep.
Does she come down and work with you guys at all?
She hasn't worked out with us yet. We did go and scrimmage them preseason, and so that's kind of how I got to know her and know about her.
Got it.
Coach Dan and I are pretty good friends, and so of course, willing to help each other's team out as much as possible.
So where's Stats at then?
He's probably in the stand somewhere or eating a pizza. Concessions.
Oh yeah. No, I seen him earlier. Yeah, he's been
concession stands open.
I seen him. He hasn't put down food since he's been here.
Yeah, he's right behind us talking to his bus driver.
All right.
Well, guys, we're in round number 2 right now on the women's mat. We are watching Perry versus Brush. I'm not sure if they started at the upper weight and moving down, or these might be a couple exhibitions.
They're exhibition matches.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's. I think we've seen her earlier. That's that Tatiana Johnson from Brush.
Now, and our men's mat,
she had a pin earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes,
she's getting rocked right now by this Perry girl.
I'm gonna talk about my kids a little bit. And, be a little arrogant here, not arrogant, but selfish.
Well, Coach, before you do that, I'll tell you what. That was a heck of a duel that we just watched out here.
That was fun.
Yeah, Coach Gary Devine said that alone right there was worth the price of admission tonight.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't pay then, right? No, I'm just kidding.
And great job as you guys pulled it out.
I had to. I had to pay.
You did, really? No. Wow. Hey, and so one of the things that we preach is winning those 50-50 matches, and our numbers aren't what they were earlier in the season due to various things, and so and I'm a straight up kind of wrestler guy. I don't move kids around. I told Coach Patreem, who's a really really good guy, I said, this is what we got, man. Let's go. Head to head, and my kids gutted it out. And
Tussauds no joke.
They're not, and that's kind of how we, and we're local. That's kind of
great rivalry.
Yes, that's kind of how we measure ourselves. We've gotten beat by them the last couple of years. They finished ahead of us at the pack and stuff like that. And so I like that rivalry. And like I said, Coach Patreem has bought into it also. And anytime we can get good matches, but specifically at 144, my kid Lucas Nair, with that beautiful high crotch that he has, and throwing the boots in, and that kind of thing. It was good to see. It was real nice to see.
It was nice to see. I know, Owen Gonzalez. I have a lot of history there, of course, with that family. His grandpa and I lifting together, helped to train me to be a state powerlifting champion. But Owen did a nice job. He'd been out of your lineup for a while, got hurt down in West Virginia.
That is correct.
Did look pretty good tonight. Did a nice job.
Yeah, he did. Like you said, he's been out, and he had to make scratch the other day.
He hadn't made scratch yet.
He hadn't made scratch at 32 yet, so he was a little bit
grumpy.
Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
I saw that. The attitude.
The attitude.
Yeah.
And we tell our kids it's okay to have that attitude. You got to be able to back it up and that kind of thing.
Coach Mayfield.
The man was my coach. He's a legend. He's the legend here at Northwest.
Guy's like my hero. Yeah. I was talking to him earlier. Hey, tell us a little about tomorrow. The name of the tournament. How'd you come up with that?
Well, I think it's an interesting story. We were at Toledo Start last year, and they put on a great tournament, a great girls tournament. And I don't know if it was called the Warrior Invitation or whatever, and Maddie Beggart won it last year, and they gave out this beautiful sword.
Oh, cool.
And it has the weight class and all that stuff on it. I'm like, okay, these guys are warriors. They did the sword. We're the Indian. Hey, why don't we do a spear kind of thing going on there? And so we came up with the Fear the Spear tournament.
Thank goodness you didn't go with feathers or something
of that
nature,
And so
are we going to see girls that win the thing walk around with a spear in their hand?
Now, I could – no, short answer.
No, but I do believe the award is special.
But we did do some special awards that have a spear on it. Our friends at Wrestle One and Chris Kalai Sr. Donated the awards for our tournament. And so the champions are going to get 2 awards, actually. They're going to get a Fear the Spear plaque with that handmade black walnut plaque that Uncle Chris made, and then they'll get their medal, of course. And we've got some outstanding wrestler awards for upper and lower weights, and our friends at Rudis also have donated some awards, some gear.
Okay.
And everybody loves gear for the outstanding wrestler.
Absolutely.
So,
just curious, any chance we could get Corey to dress up like an Indian?
Probably not.
Okay, just throwing it out
Corey
there.
in a loincloth, I don't think we want to see that.
I'll say this.
No, you're not, John.
I was a Walsh Judgment Warrior, and Bill Barger found at a local antique shop. It was a whole full Indian headdress. I used to wear it to warm up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here at Northwest, when I went to school long time ago, our mascot was in full dress.
Full dress. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Have since done away with. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But they've since done away with it. But that's okay. We still represent here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So something so earlier, Chris Jr. was a little upset about the internet connection, stuff like that, and he was staring you down. He said, "I might end up souping somebody here today."
Well,
I don't think it would be.
Probably not going to be me.
I don't think it would be Cousin Art. I don't think that's happening. But
he does respect his elders a little bit.
Call me silly, but now Art, you talked about Tuslaw's program over here on mat number 1. We have the lone Tuslaw young lady, the first.
Yes, Ashley.
Danny does.
Ashley.
And Danny also, of course, his first this year. So, can you know a little bit about her?
Actually, I do. She works out with us a lot. Last spring for freestyle, and then throughout the summer when we would have open mats, she would come in, and actually when school started. So she's a 125-pounder. I think she's a sophomore.
Buzzsaw.
She's a scrapper.
Yeah.
She's a scrapper, and
likes the head and arm.
Yeah.
Loves the head and arm. Yeah.
And what I think she likes coming to us because we do have so many girls, and I know she's welcome in at Tuslaw's room, but she's got a little more jump in her step or whatever. Pep in her step. There you go. And when the girls work out together, they work out harder. They work out better.
I bet.
Because
it's different. I mean,
it is.
It's the way it should be. I'm sorry.
Right. And so anytime there's an opportunity for her to come and work out with us, we welcome her in our room.
Art, do you know what weight by chance she
125.
is? 125.
So at the end of the
day,
day,
Emma Shepard.
You guys are very instrumental in helping out the Maslin girl, the Tuslaw girl.
Well, we joked at the Lady Ironman, and we talked about the stuff that I did out in Oregon, and I figured I'd continue that on here because that's the only way we're going to grow Ohio wrestling is if they have people in their corner and pushing them and fighting. Because as you guys know, there's some old school coaches that don't think those young ladies should be out there.
Right.
And so we're fighting that. But they're doing
awesome.
It's an honorable fight, and we're winning the fight.
As
you can
100%.
See. As you can see.
Absolutely.
Well, it's going to grow the men's as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
anything. Yeah. Anytime we can do good stuff for wrestling is great.
Look at Fargo.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the country.
100%.
And the fastest way for our female athletes to get to college right now, wrestling.
Well, I tell you what. Go ahead.
We have a special guest tomorrow also.
That's
going to give out our awards and our outstanding wrestlers. We've got Clay Wenger from from Mount Union's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have Clay on air.
Yeah.
We'll have him on air tomorrow.
One of the coolest things I thought watching the women of Ironman, as Jimmy kind of coined it when we were up there, Clay was working the room down at Rico Fieldhouse, and he was going up because obviously you have certain rules. College can't really go and talk to the girls, but you can go and talk to the parents.
Yes.
And he was really he was dialed in on some of the old Tangy Orange girls, and he went over to talk to the parents and make the relationship.
It's a great program, and they've had some kids sign already. I don't think he's allowed to talk about them yet, but I know that some girls are there. Clay's a great guy. He and I have been able to develop a relationship since he took that job.
Speaking on how the women's programs can up the men's.
Yep.
I was up at Campbellsville University.
Yes.
And
Michaela. Michaela Campbell.
Yep. And I was offered their first women's coaching job there.
Nice.
And I went and checked it out. But the coolest thing I've ever seen was they had a great men's program, but they were working out like any men's program in the basement. And then because of the women, guess what? $10 million facility. There it is. Yeah.
And some people don't like Title IX. I don't necessarily like the way Title IX has been implemented around the country, and wrestling has been on the short end of that stick for a while. But things like Title IX came back to help us,
it out,
which in turn helps wrestling in general. So
in general.
That's good. And I like the fact that the smaller schools kind of led the charge.
They did,
because it's actually cheaper for them to do a wrestling program than Division I.
Right.
And
all these NEIs
Correct.
48 NAIA
something
program,
like that.
something
Yeah.
like that?
My granddaughter, like we talked about in December, is wrestling at Southern Oregon University.
Oh,
She's
nice.
a senior out there. Yep.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, you are joining us live right here from Northwest High School, SMG Networks live stream, powered by TKDS Sports, presented by Hilscher Clark Electric, and it is Friday night wrestling extravaganza. And I'll tell you what, one of our sponsors, guys, right, Walsh University. Well, I hope you're listening out there, Walsh University guys. We could use a wrestling program over there. You are sitting in the hotbed of Stark County, and both men and women. We could really have ourselves a nice Cavalier program there someday. So think about it.
We need a men's program there too. Yeah, I mean, you got Mount Union with a men's program. You know, maybe they'll kick it up with the girls.
That would be nice. Yeah,
I could see that with Coach Riggs over there behind that. But also, you got Malone University in Canton, and then we got
a lot of them had programs over the years. We know. I don't know about Walsh, but Malone, I do believe years ago had one, and so
my
forth.
Uncle Gus.
Yeah, Gus
was an All-American at Malone.
Oh, that's cool.
Year,
okay.
So
well, I know Akron had like a club team going on.
Kent State's got a good team.
Yeah. So
1981, boys. I graduated from Norton in '81, and didn't fulfill many of the goals that I'd ever hoped to, and was going to walk on. And that was the year Akron U brought the program to Title IX. And so instead of wrestling, went back to coaching, and the rest is history. But over here on on the men's mat, guys, we have one of the Walsh wrestlers again, as TJ said, creating a team by committee. This is a freshman, Ved Desea, at 126, and he's either, I'm not sure, Art, you might be able to help us. That's either Chance Grimm or Raymond Butzer. That's Grimm?
Yep.
All right,
Grimm.
so he's wrestling Chance Grimm, and the young man from Walsh up 10-0 right now in the third period.
And Grimm's father, I believe, follows us a lot on Facebook, gives us a lot of information on what's been going on with him and following along with his season. So I want to give a special shout out to him. Steph Grimm.
I'll tell you what, doing some shout-outs. I want to shout out my good friend up in New York, Sharon Hardman. Every time we're on, she tries to get in and listen to it. So I know she's texted me and said, hey, your sound's down a little bit. I said, well, we had to change internets. And when we got back onto the wire, she's like, oh, that's much better.
Yeah. You said that there was an internet problem here. Did we get it squared away?
Chris did,
the wall internet wasn't working. I think it looks like they've ran a wire from the backside. But got taken care of, and all good. We're going to be ready for tomorrow, brother. I'm excited.
Well, that's why I was asking.
I saw the panic.
And so for those that are listening on the SMG Network live streams, tomorrow will get started at 9:30?
Correct.
Okay.
And we're hoping to have the finals at around 1 o'clock. We're running eight-person brackets, 2 mats. We're not going to be in any hurry to get through it. These girls deserve attention. We're going to do the face-off at the finals and introduction, and maybe
Parade of Champions.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Absolutely.
We'll get a little music going. I've talked to my athletic director. We're working on the lights and the smoke machines and all that stuff.
Okay.
It's going to be a biggie eventually.
It's going to be huge.
We're building.
We'll need both gyms.
Something me and Jamie Fozzie we've talked about is, there's going to be the women of the Ironman. There's going to be the Top Gun women's tournament, but eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have your tournament.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Year of the Spear, baby.
Year of the Spear.
Year of the Spear. That's going to be the new tournament. That's going to be
great.
That what we start to see in this women's wrestling.
I would love it to be that late season tournament that everybody goes to get ready for sectionals in the state tournament.
Hey, since there was a lot of talk about Notre Dame and Michigan, we'll throw Ohio State in there real quick.
Thank you.
I know that Ohio State and Michigan are wrestling right now in Columbus. I mean, what do we know about those lineups for those guys? I've seen. Is it Jordan that wrestles for Michigan? Yeah.
What about him?
Right in the middle of about $1.75. What's his last name? Jordan.
Harbaugh.
No. Whatever. I had a chance to watch him on TV the other night,
I
catching up on the Big Ten channel.
Mean Jordan James?
No.
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Tough kid though, man. I'll tell you what. I'm interested to kind of see how things going. And the heavyweight for Ohio State is having a great season.
That dude's a real deal.
And I know that they are having. They're having alumni night down there.
He had a big match against Cornell.
You've got being honored down there tonight. Kyle Schneider.
It's sold out.
Jay Jaggers.
It's sold out, yeah.
And I'm going to miss a few here, but, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, about 5 guys who are some of the greatest wrestlers to ever come through the program.
I actually tried to get tickets. I wouldn't even have been here tonight, so I went ahead of time a few months ago and tried to get tickets for that, to take me and my boys down there to watch it, and it was sold out then.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
No joke, yeah. Yeah, and,
Art got one of your B-team wrestler, young men wrestling over here, right?
Yes, we do.
That is 132?
Preston Volk is his name, and he's a freshman.
At 132,
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, he is. Gonzalez took his varsity spot at 32.
Gotcha.
That's one of the brutal things about wrestling, right?
Oh, it's
and
one of the best things about wrestling.
True. I agree. You want to be varsity, beat the guy in front of you. But wrestling,
don't suck less.
Suck
right?
less.
Suck less.
But Preston wrestling Braden Wolf and Owen Gonzalez and all those kids in our room has made him better.
Absolutely.
Much better.
Art, the guy I was thinking of was Jaden Bullock wrestling at 184 for Michigan.
Man.
Absolute stud.
Stud, yeah.
And then you mentioned the heavyweight Nick Feldman.
Feldman he's been a beast, and I see Shoemates in the lineup.
Seth Shoemates in the lineup. I mean,
who hasn't been in the lineup all year?
He's the one wrestling Jaden Bullock, and I believe Jim. These are national rankings that are next to them here.
Yeah, that is correct.
So Bullock is ranked 14th in the country. Nick Feldman, he's ranked 16th, and the guy he's going against Lucas Davidson is number 4.
Right. I think Feldman's better than 16.
I heard the Buckeyes are busting out Karshilava at 65. They just didn't put it in there yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. The Buckeyes.
He's tough. Yeah, he's
Buckeyes are definitely overachieving this year. They're doing a great job. They're having a great season. It's going to be exciting, when the NCAAs get ready to go.
Well, we have a wrestling club here at Northwest, and we have advisory period, and so they do clubs during advisory, and so we do it with wrestling. And on every Tuesday we watch Young Bucks on Flow Wrestling, so our kids get to follow the Ohio State team, and so they get to know all these guys and what it's like, and it's interesting. My 190-pounder Chad Griffith lost a tough match the other day because lost his focus, and just didn't take advantage. And it's interesting because coach, the Ohio State coach, their kid did basically the exact same thing, and he had the same conversation. And I look at Chad. I'm like, see, even the good kids. It even happens to the good kids. And Chad's a good kid, but don't get me wrong. But even in college, that happens. And that conversation that I had with Chad was basically
for him
the
to
exact
see that correlation.
Coach Ryan had with his kid.
Hey, Art, real quick, looking over on the women's mat, we do have our camera there at this point in time. Young lady from Massillon looks like she came out to wrestle again, if you will.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And she may have lost, a
little bit of
just catching her breath.
Like I said, I think I saw the asthma.
And she does have asthma.
Signal, if you will.
Oh, okay.
My puffer.
Yeah.
And what I like about her is that she's working through not making excuses. Does that make sense? Wrestling, there
100%. I always say sport of wrestling saves lives, man.
Yeah.
You get a lot of individuals out there that that they weren't looking forward to some kind of success ever before, and then they start wrestling and they find that with the sport of wrestling.
Yeah. That light switch goes on,
and that's happening with the women and the men.
We've got a couple girls in our room. Sophia McKinney, who was a national team member last year. She came in last season at 207 pounds, extremely unhealthy. Right now, she's 157 pounds. Woo! And she's doing an excellent job.
She is, I see her on social media all the time.
Well,
her daddy posts her, of course.
Sure.
He's proud,
And she's winning matches, and it's great.
How about this? How about this for alumni night for Ohio State wrestling? Kevin Randleman, coming back.
Okay.
Logan Steiber coming back. Tommy Rollins.
Stieber.
I mean, look at these guys. 4-time All-Americans, multiple national championships.
Nate down there.
Jay Jaggers, 3-time captain.
Yeah, Jaggers. I love his story, and if you guys could find the old tape. Well, remember his first national championship. He won it with a broken ankle. He broke an ankle in the finals in the last 45 seconds or so.
Logan Stieber, 4-time national champion.
Only time I ever seen Jaggers lose in high school was to my teammate Josh Lepanzik.
Nice.
Yep. And then you look at Kyle Schneider. I mean, he just kind of one-ups everybody with the Olympic gold in 2016.
Schneiderman.
Did Tomasello, was he down there too?
No, just kind of like a little 5-pack down there. They're missing out on the six-pack without our boy Nate Tomasello.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, over here on the women's mat, 10-10 is our score. I'll tell you what, now, Art, you said the young lady from Massillon, 190, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, if it's holding true, this is the freshman, Eliana Steele, that she's wrestling from Brush right now. And, again, a freshman doing a nice job out here. Was down. Fighting back, coming through. Has that arm. Going to give up the back points.
Yep. And Katie's a junior. She wrestled a little bit last year, but I don't know if she wrestled the full season. But
well,
she's improving.
Yeah, no, and I think that little bit she had to stop there, catch her breath a bit. You know, she was up at that point, and I think it may have had a little bit of effect there for the last few seconds. So, young lady from Brush, Eliana Steele, comes away with the victory at 190 pounds.
But that was good for her, yeah, because
now this is not 235. I'm not really sure what.
You know, she had a loss in that first round she wrestled and Steele did. So.
Correct.
Yeah, good to see him come back, finish strong tonight.
So I got a little update from Coach John DeMarco. So I believe Connor was out at Valparaiso. But because of the FCS deal, they can't offer any money. It's pretty expensive to go to school there. I believe spent some time at Notre Dame College as well. Walsh has given him a really nice package. And the first thing he mentioned after all those, he goes, oh, yeah, and he's only been wrestling for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Awesome. Well, we made a deal. He's like, well, I'm going to have to miss practice, and I have a rule that if you miss practice the day before a match, you don't wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, Connor, we're okay. We can work something out, buddy. You know, there's bigger things than a Tuesday practice. Right. And so he's trying to improve himself in his stake in life, and so we made some concessions for him, which I don't think is a concession because it's just the right thing to do.
Right. No, that's cool. You know what? When I was at Walsh Jesuit, I used to make deals with the coaching staff. I never like going to practice, so I used to make all kinds of bargains.
Art, don't listen to some of his stories. Yeah. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, real quick, because of the way that the women's matches went here, you know, we haven't had a chance. I want to shout out our Perry women's team at 100 pounds.
I know, right?
I mean, it was hard to know where we're at here, kind of the way it's set up as far as our side kind of watching. But Michaela Medal is their 100-pounder, a freshman, comes into the night with 11-7 record. Mia Forberg, a freshman, 17-4. Nadia Turner, a freshman at 110 pounds. Mia, of course, wrestling at 105. Nadia comes in with a 12-9 record. At 120, Kara Yoho, a junior, 9-7 so far this year. 125, Emma Shepard, again, a freshman, 16-2 at 125 pounds. Their 130-pounder, that's Mia Lee, 11th grader, a junior, 10-10. At 135, Chloe Gruber, a senior, and she comes in at 7-12. At 145, Scarlett Grace, a sophomore, comes in at 7-13. Rounding out their lineup at 155 pounds is Kaylee Miller-Grimm, one of the two seniors on the team, coming in at 12-5. So we may not be able to call them out as they're out on the mat, not really sure of those weight classes, but want to make sure we definitely get those young ladies' names announced, their records. Great job to Coach Define, Coach McBurney over there at Massillon Perry.
Yeah, we had to move some girls around different weight classes so they could get matches.
To get matches.
Yep.
Smart.
Yeah.
I figured that, based on seeing the mismatches, with the teams,
And that's okay.
That's fine, yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
Hey, I'm going to go say hi to my wife for a few minutes. I'll be back. I'm going to go grab something to eat.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
We don't accept. No, I'm joking. Glad having you.
If you find an extra piece, a couple pieces of pizza, you know.
Pepperoni, sausage, or cheese. Right.
We don't discriminate.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Art.
Yep. Our guest, Art Kalai, the head coach of the Northwest Indians.
Legendary.
Definitely putting together tonight's extravaganza and tomorrow's inaugural Fear the Spear. Uh-oh, Johnny. TJ took off his headgear. You think? TJ just took off his headgear. You think he's headed over to the concessions?
Yeah, 100%. I tell you what.
He heard pepperoni pizza, and that was it.
He started sniffing that out, man. And, since we got here, we've been talking about, great pizza. Shout out to all our sponsors, Lindsay's Pizza.
Absolutely.
Always doing a great job. But
pepperoni and banana peppers, buddy.
I heard
had one a while back.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I went down there and I seen some old alumni there from Walsh Jesuit, and I was hoping they'd hook a brother up, and they said, "Hey, fresh out."
They were out of pizza?
They said, "Fresh out." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "We ate it all." I said, "Oh man," I said, back in my day, Walsh, yeah, we were known for, a lot of things, but not eating all the pizza, Yeah.
Well, we'll swing the camera over to the men's mat right now. Again, the Perry B team and the Walsh B team joining forces, taking on the Mustangs of Tuslaw. And
shout out to Perry coach right here in front of us, Danny, or I used to call him Danielle Jennison. He's been involved with the program for years. I was telling TJ earlier a little bit about him. He's kind of like the spiritual soldier of the team there, man. He, those kids, week in, week out, especially from the main varsity squad, they're going against tough competition.
Absolutely.
And, when times are tough, they need somebody to turn to. And that's Coach Jennison. He is their mental leader, man.
He's that spiritual advisor, huh?
Oh, 100%. Nice. And I love that about him. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Real backbone to that program in that aspect, in that regard. Of course, you got great legends like, Coach McBurney, which we all know, Coach Define, the Riggs experience. But, you know what I mean? It's cool to have, when you got, TJ mentioned, his guy,
Tim Anderson, yeah.
Tim Anderson,
yeah.
I mean, so you got legends like that, but, this guy is there for these guys as far as the mental part of it. And
I'll tell you,
that's 100% of it.
Absolutely. And one of Danny's younger brothers, Tommy Jennison, Tommy and my son Justin.
I remember that.
They had some
battles.
Absolute battles.
I've seen them.
From youth through high school. Off and on, they would meet, and just great matches between those two guys. So,
Jim, I didn't get a final over here to the left, but I believe we've just got done with our second duel over here with the ladies.
Yep, I'm just going to kind of share that with our audience there. That is correct, Tej. You are right. Round number 2 has completed. Perry and Brush.
They haven't kept the score at the top like they have over here with the boys.
Correct.
Because they're a mixed match, and the match will just get matchups. That's why.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah, so you're really – there will be no team winner. You're just looking at individual matches. Just fill the lineup. It goes against your record, but nothing as far as a team because you're not making up a full team.
Yeah.
So if the Perry girls who fill their own lineup won, essentially that doesn't give them
They dominated. Perry girls were taking names.
Yeah.
And what's awesome is, we talked to Coach Stefan earlier. I mean, they've just started that. I mean,
and which I don't know, Jim, how much – not to say how much do you care about it, but you're really just at this point, it's like, hey, we're here to get some great work in, regardless if we get a team win, which we know we just did. We dominated, but we're here to get the work in. We'll sacrifice that extra win or one win in the column for that.
No, you're spot on, brother. And as our teams grow, as our women's teams grows throughout the state, you're going to see more of those rivalries develop, right? I mean, you have Alliance, as we know, has a full team. Minerva very close. Perry's very close. Northwest very close. So, you're spot on, brother. Yeah. Brush very close. So as we see these teams fill out maybe 1 or 2 holes, which is, kind of what you see with many of even our men's program, then you're going to see those rivalries develop like we did tonight on the men's side at first round, Northwest and at Tuslaw. We're going to have some great women rivalries coming down the road, brother. And I'll tell you what, guys, SMG Network is going to be right alongside.
Well, I think what's scary is seeing with the Perry program.
Seeing you in a Indian outfit.
That's very scary.
Jim, am I looking down here to my right? Seeing is Mama Bostic listening in?
Yeah. No, that's not my wife, Mama.
No, my mom.
That's my mom. Oh yeah,
that's my mom.
Yeah, I got to shout out my mom. She's on the iPad. She went from the TV to the iPad. Nah, she never misses any of our broadcasts. I'll tell you what. Nah, guys, I'll tell you what, growing up, my parents, my mom and dad, I don't care if it was wrestling, soccer, marching band, whatever I did, they were always there. And when I coached, they were there. And
is she aware of your fame?
No, she's not aware of the Jimmy B doll. And
we have an action figure, Jimmy Bostic, on site here at the tournament, and I tell you what.
I noticed you got the white turtleneck. Good job, thank you.
Yeah, no, it took time and effort to establish that.
And Jim, I don't know if you've had this conversation with Art or not, but there's a lady out here who's kind of assisting and helping with the girls here on the Indians program?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember her name, but she definitely is part of it. You know, and I think Art very wisely, right? I mean, you know, as much as you're the head coach and so forth, it's nice to have that women's presence. Even if she doesn't, you know, maybe know the sport, she's learning the sport. You have learned so much about the sport over the last 2 years, you know, from where you are. And I think she's there, obviously, to help with the women's mental side of things and helping in that regard.
Well, let me say this. I mean, you know, even, you know, your mom's involvement even. I mean, I bet your mom could coach any college team for knowledge of seeing wrestling events over the years. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm serious.
No, I know what you're saying.
These. You know, I know.
Mom's listening right now. She's submitting her resume on Indeed.
Right. No, but like, I mean, my siblings, my sisters, man, they could probably outcoach any. You know, I'd put them, you know, up against Ashland in the, you know, duel, man. They would probably beat them straight up. But well, my one sibling beat up the Ashland coach one time. Anyway, but on a serious note, though, I think there's a lot of you know, women that have watched the sport for years, seen their sons do it for years, and you'd be surprised what they would tell you or what they know. And they know names. You know, we were talking about, you know, TJ was bringing up Ohio State wrestlers and Michigan wrestlers earlier. I was the other day having that same conversation with my siblings, and they brought up the same names, TJ. They knew all that. You know, they're up to speed on it. And I'm not, you know, just giving them a shout out, but I think, you know, that is the nature of when you have a son that wrestles. You know, you have to learn it. You have to know it.
It eventually just assimilates, assumes you know, when you're around it for so many years. And again, think about that, right? I mean, I go back to my time, really didn't have youth wrestling back in the 70s, right? I mean, yeah, we had, you know, Terry Turchin's Garage and a few of us, you know, got up, but we didn't have the programs like, you know, the North Akrons and the youth programs of today as it's evolved, right? So, you know, some of those parents and grandparents have been watching and following your grandchildren since they were in kindergarten and beyond, right?
Yeah.
I know my parents have. But guys, over here on the mat number one, the men's mat, I think we're at 144. I don't see a weight class, but I do believe for Tuslaw, again, this is Nate Eberhardt for the Mustangs and wrestling for Perry. Again, remember Walsh B and Perry B teams combining. This is Ethan Schilling. Ethan is a freshman, comes into tonight's match with an even 500 record at 5-5.
Well, something I want to go back to is, you know, looking at this Perry women's team. You know, they came in here and, you know, took names and kicked butt. To see that, you know, that growth that fast, because, you know, I'm guessing, you know, with the coaching staff they have with the men's, and that quick development, going into this state tournament, year 2, that might be a big X factor. You know, teams like that. You
Correct.
know, where they got, you know, it's their first year with the girls, but they might have some, you know, people that come in there and upset somebody.
I think we're going to see a lot of new teams, if you will, you know, making their way down into the shot, you know, in March.
New names.
New teams. And again, guys, we know it's only going to grow. And TJ, got to shout out my lovely bride. She is listening now. She just texted me. She says, I'm listening now. So
talk about me.
No, but hey, I'll talk about her. Here's why.
Jim, tell us about any Valentine's Day plans that you have coming up.
Go ahead, Jim.
Valentine's Day
Start
plans?
Media exclusive.
Remember you were telling me the other day?
No, I don't want to. No, I don't remember what I was telling you. I don't want you making up anything either, buddy. Well, guys, round 3, of course, at the after the conclusion of our men's match here. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a nice matchup, right? Northwest and Perry, both teams with some pretty good numbers in their lineup. And, you know, I don't know, TJ and Art, you know, he's old school. He might be keeping team score. We'll see.
100%. Yeah, in the back of his mind. Yeah, I could tell he is. Yeah. I mean, you got to if you're involved like that.
No, I will tell you, since TJ asked about Valentine's gifts, I did buy a lovely cabinet, you know, to go under the TV in the TV room. One of those ones that have like the fake fireplace.
Right.
Throws out the heat. Got a little thing.
Jim, let's give credit where credit's due. I think that was the cabinet that you actually were handcrafting. for what, a few months now.
Well, I didn't want to brag about
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
right. Me and
he's a humble guy.
Me and Joey Amazon were working on that. You're right.
Yeah, he's a carpenter, just like JC, man. I tell you what, and all for his wife. What a that's a hard act to follow.
So if I'm looking correctly over here, Jim, over at these girls that are getting ready to wrestle, I think you'll have Claymont and you'll have the young lady from Norton who will be joining Northwest to fill their lineup. So essentially you've got 4 girls that are keeping you from almost being able to properly keep score of this thing and have a team victory if you wanted to.
Right. You're not going to have the head-to-head, but it is nice to see Claymont with 4 girls over there, right? That's exciting. You mentioned it on the way in that Claymont, you didn't realize they were there. I didn't either. So, as Art said, pulling all of his connections out there. And, guys, it's great. I love it. I'll tell you one thing I did used to love, and we got to talk to our guys down at TKDS. I love the interaction we used to have with our fans right on when we were on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I just got a text from my lovely daughter, Madison. Madison was over in Europe just about the whole month of January studying at the London Archives for her master's. She just texted me with a little eyes up in the air face, or whatever you call them things, memes, emojis, pictures, I don't know. She says,
always on top of pop culture.
She's listening too, so I got to shout out my lovely daughter, Madison, and I'm so glad she's home safe. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, man. I don't like it when my kids get on airplanes.
Well, I could tell here we only had 3 listeners here, so now we all know who they are identified as.
My mom.
Oh no, wait, that's 300. That was when the when we started talking a little Notre Dame with our coach Jennett over there. I think the Catholics rose.
That's right. We don't play, bro. Yeah. When we start talking Notre Dame, it's a whole nother. And you know what's sad is Notre Dame doesn't have a wrestling program, so they actually lost their accreditation, so they're no longer a sanctioned college NCAA Division I program. What's that? Oh, the Walsh coach?
I say, yeah, you want to see if Dave might want to join us there a moment. I don't know. You're always good at bringing on guests and all, but
we kind of talked about that before, John. You feel there's been so many changes through the staff that since you wrestled to now.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah,
you don't know who these guys are.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think what Mariola said.
I know. Yeah, I know Dave. Dave, when I was assistant principal or working over in Barberton schools, he was Barberton's head coach. Of course, his dad.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Oh, a legend over at I think it was at Twinsburg. His dad was head coach. I think it was Twinsburg
they
for many years.
They coached the Torchettas, the twins that were state champs.
I do believe so. So maybe we can get Dave to put on a headset, say hello here in a moment.
Yeah, he's a true Phil. Yeah, I do know him and recognize him. And I remember, he was a big deal at the Barbertons.
Now, though, he may not, though. I forgot. We got to give him his coaching time because he does have. It looks like he has a wrestler about ready to go to the mat.
He does.
Again,
got some blood time over here.
But one thing I do know about him, because I got a good friend out there in Barbertucky, Tom Paps. He's a postal worker, and he was telling me how his nephew, when he was, under Mariola's regime out there, was, just a bad kid, couldn't do well in the classroom, stuff like that. He said that's who brought him to life.
Dave
in the sport of wrestling. He said, and thank goodness for that. And that boy went to, I think, John Carroll and wrestled and, doing well in life now. So
fresh off that blood time. Looks like Tussall is going to maybe be able to get the pin.
Eberhardt right there did a nice job. Had a nice roll through. Went right into a little head and arm position. Again, the official, that's Jeff Bowman out there doing a nice job. And he's right in good position. That should do it right there. There it is, the pin. And Eberhardt coming away with the victory as he was up 9-0.
Shout out to Bowman too, man. He gets in perfect position on stuff like that always.
Well, and I'll tell you what, guys, and we always talk about this. We can't thank our officials enough, whether it's wrestling, football, lacrosse, soccer. We always have, the need for officials. If you ever have a desire to get back into the sports that you love, you're trying to find a pathway, maybe it isn't coaching, please think about being an official. You can get on the OHSAA website, go to officials, and any sport, volleyball, right? Anything that you're looking, football, you think you might want to, officiate. You can get in, you can get your license, and become someone to put those stripes on. I know it's tough. I did it for a year, guys. It's tough. I physically really wasn't in a condition to do it at that. Oh, nice throw there, attempt. But, again, if you're thinking about giving back to the sport, think about becoming an official. Seriously.
Well, Jim, you may want to turn your phone off here because I'm getting some insider info. How do officials look or frown upon biting your opponent? Because Mom Dukes over there just mentioned that. Did you tell them about the time you bit your opponent?
Jimbo.
You got a little Mike Tyson inside you? Was it the ear? Was it a finger? I mean, what was going on here, Jim? Explain yourself, sir.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks. Well, I'll tell you what, back in the day, I think
he's a biter, not a fighter.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit
that
more
makes
true.
sense. I'll tell you why another time, but go ahead.
No, I wrestled with braces back when I was in high school. I had braces at the time, right? And we didn't have to wear mouth guards, so you had and of course I had the old metal style, right? So I had the silver metal braces.
Nice.
That day before we were wrestling Green, actually, it was a match at Green. I just had my braces tightened, and boy, if you've ever had braces and tightened up, your mouth is in serious pain. And gentleman from Green was on top. I think his name was Woodruff. I don't remember. Anyhow, he's running a pretty good cross face right across my mouth. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, either quit raking my mouth or your arm's going to leave it one way or the other. And needless to say, when the whistle blew and the 1-point penalty was given, and the marks were, he's showing the official where, yes, I did happen to bite a rest. Thanks, Mom. Really appreciate it.
Was there a blue moon that night? Or?
No, there was no blue moon.
Boy. So that throw down there looks like the Perry girl's going to look to get a pin on the Claymont. Pinstripes go down.
And didn't know TJ switching us over, so good transition right out of that story. All right, and
I was doing that all for you.
Yeah, thanks, brother. And the Perry wrestler again, nice job. And it looks like maybe the Claymont girls. Are we starting round 3 here, TJ?
Yes, sir.
For Dr. Bacteria to have evolved, from Teen Wolf, that is incredible, pronouncement to
get him angry. So the nails start growing out a little bit, gets a little hairy, and
okay.
And this one over here,
turning my phone off now.
Perry's really running away with this thing here, 33-0 against Tuslaw.
Well, you know what, TJ, I'll be straight up, brother. I don't think they're keeping that team score correct because actually, remember, the Eberhardt boy got the pin, and I did not see them put that score up there. So I'm not sure what they're doing on the top part of that scoreboard this time.
Well, and essentially, you really can't keep a team score on this either because now you have a Walsh Warrior.
Right. Exactly. Right. You got a combination of Walsh and Perry wrestling here. And, again, just to give you these wrestlers, this is at 100 and I'm guessing 150. Is that
Lions?
Is that Lions?
Yeah.
I do believe.
Yeah.
So for Tuslaw, you're looking at Jacob Lyons. And I'll tell you what, hey, very possibly now Coach Mariola, this could be his son Caden Mariola.
9th grader.
Or Sean Scott, a sophomore. Not sure which of these young men went to the mat, but I hope that coach's son. I'd love to see it.
John, I'm just glad they didn't bring the Shermanator because
dude,
I was almost in a lot of trouble. I almost had a big ordeal on my hands over at the holiday tournament.
I tell you what, if they would have brought the Shermanator, I don't know if you would have made it inside the building, man. That kid wanted to rip your face off. Yeah.
Oh, do tell. As we're telling stories.
Well, he was in my way, and I, he felt that I was in his way, and so, we exchanged words, and he didn't want to acknowledge it at first, and then he wanted to acknowledge it 5 seconds later after I walked away. And
after you walked away.
I mean, come on, man. You either want the smoke or you don't.
Right. Tell you what, and I would have had your back there, TJ.
Well, thank you.
First 3 seconds, but.
Where's John? Out the door.
I didn't have the appetite that Jim Bostic had for
the appetite for destruction
for human flesh.
Looks like this match here, Lions is on top now 4-0.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the live broadcast, and it's getting punchy here through the SMG network, powered by TKDS Sports. As always, presented by Hilscher Clark Electric Company. And guys, again, none of this happens. Our great sponsors that are out there, got to shout them out real quick. Neal & Sons Tree Service, Lace and Dagger Tattoo Company, Nathan's Patio, Lindsay's Pizza, LPL Financial, Cackley Insurance, The Drive Mine Group, H&H Truck Parts, Save22.vet, CH Vallos and Associates, Leathernecks Nation Motorcycle Club, and of course Walsh University, who we're kind of calling out. SMG Network's going to call Walsh University out a little bit in their sports program to consider looking into a wrestling men and or women's program. So
another pin there for the Perry girls,
yeah.
for one of those Claymont Mustangs.
Again, yeah, you know, Perry, they're technically, you know, not the most experienced in the house, but they're bringing it.
Well, did
bro.
we have that conversation with Scott Nelson
We
about
did, yes.
having a program at Malone or Walsh, and you know, I mean, you've got all these other varsity sports over there, and I mean, wrestling, the staple that it should be within a program, it's not there.
Especially in Northeast Ohio. It's wild,
but I got to give a special shout out to the Walsh Cavaliers basketball team. The boys, they just won their 8th straight game in a row, pushed out to 13-3 on the season.
Hey, is the Natural over there doing that?
Yes, he is.
Is he? All right. Hey, shout out to our buddy Jeff Tyler, the Natural. Loved working with him, T, just past fall with our football, and looking forward to seeing him again soon. So
does a great job for us.
Absolutely. If
great
you're listening there, Natural,
hey.
Miss you, brother. All right. Well, the Perry wrestler needs to get her to the mat to get the points. No points yet. Our Northwest wrestler hanging tight. Not sure of the weight here, guys. Man. Maybe I'll run over the table real quick, and we got to get a weight on that.
If anybody wants to know, John, the validity of girls wrestling, I mean, what we've seen here tonight, what we saw last year down at the state tournament, it's,
you know, TJ,
it's a high-end product, if you ask me. And for only the second year of it being sanctioned, I think that speaks volumes. And almost, if you think about how people look at the sport of basketball, they say, you know, at the college level or at the high school level, girls basketball seems to be more fundamentally sound because it's slowed down just a bit from how the guys play and at their pace. Do you kind of see that same comparison with girls wrestling? It's not as fast as the guys, but technically sound, they're just right there.
I actually, with the wrestling, I think it's totally, you know, 180. Because I mean, look at that, another pin.
Perry girls.
How many pins have we seen over here on the boys' mat?
Pinned. That's
TJ,
that's a Northwest girl there.
How many times have we seen pins over here on the boys' mat like that, or excitement like that? It's slim to none. We're seeing that on the girls' mat all night. Wait a minute. I'm going to make a point real fast. To respond to what you're talking about, at the Top Gun tournament, who stole the show at the Top Gun?
The girls did.
The girls did. At the state tournament, who stole the show?
Girls did.
Girls did. At the Ironman tournament, who stole the show?
Girls did.
Girls did, yeah. So, anyway.
Well, I don't know. Angelo Ferrari seems to always kind of steal the show over there.
Right, well, yeah.
Him and Bo Bassett, I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I mean, still, though, you know, for the girls to show up there and ride toe-to-toe with Ferrari and Bassett, who have been boys legends in the sport, that's my point.
Yeah.
You know, that's next level right there. So, I mean, you know, I think it's a lot different than the basketball comparison. You know, women's basketball, girls aren't dunking the ball. You know what I mean? So, you know, I could, you know, I don't want to say any names, but there's some women I played against at college level, and I beat them one-on-one. So, you know, it doesn't, you know, speak measures to me about women's basketball at the college level. But I think women's wrestling at the college level, that's a whole other story, man. I see chicks out here, you know, bodying each other, you know, souping each other, double leg to the back each other. I mean, we watched that girl from Perry earlier, and she was literally ripping her opponent's face off. You know, and it's cool to see that kind of high level of intensity at the women's level. And
John,
what you just walked into is me going on a rant about. You know, TJ asked a question, you know, with women's basketball at the college level.
Claymont getting a pin over Perry there on the girls' mat.
You know, men's basketball. I'm like, well, you know, girls can't dunk. Yeah. So that's, you know, out the gate. But in wrestling, girls are, you know, double-legging girls. They're doing all the same stuff the boys are doing. And, and you've probably could testify to this.
I'll tell you what, real quick, Johnny.
Where are the explosive matches at?
Let's bring him in.
On
Our guest right now, one of our great officials. Again, last year, Jeff, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Your first year down at the state tournament. We'd like to welcome to the air Mr. Jeff Bowman. Jeff, thank you for taking time out here. You guys, as always, doing a great job. We were trying to promote a little bit. We need more men and women in the stripes, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
I mean, that's one thing. OHSA and each one of our associations are really trying to hit the recruiting hard, both male and female. There's life after competing in this sport,
right?
And I preach that
in coaching.
That's what I'm saying, and I preach that in a lot of my pre-meets, and even at the collegiate level, I started doing that this year and preaching that there's life after competing, and there's a couple of things you can do. Coaching, obviously, number one, we need great coaches in this sport, and number two, officiating.
Yeah. And
either way, you can make a nice little side gig at this. I mean, none of us, this is our full-time job,
Right.
So it's a way that we stay in the sport and absolutely just love it. But just we're really pushing hard to recruit. I recruited a 15-year-old 5 years ago.
Wow.
He is actually, in his 5th year. He's 20 years old. And he hopefully will be at Top Gun as a Class 1 official next year.
Outstanding.
And hopefully we're going to be able to recruit his brother, who will be graduating this year. And those guys are fresh out of the sport, and they know the new holds and help us old-timers. And I hate to refer to myself as an old-timer, but,
we are what we are.
Yes.
So, Jeff, if someone, has that desire, and again, I'm telling you, we are always pushing it for you guys, not, just our sport here. We know, and you also do softball, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Lacrosse, soccer, it doesn't matter. We need help in all of our sports.
Yes.
If someone would like to become an official in any sport, right, what do they need to do? What are the steps involved for them? How do they begin that journey?
Pupils permit kind of thing for OSHA?
Well, I mean, the best thing to do is to get on the OHSA.org website, and you go to the officiating tab. And underneath that officiating tab, it's, how to become an official, getting yourself signed up, getting that permit number. And they will, most of the classes, if not all of them now, are all online. You could take it at your pace. And once you complete that, then you get in with an association, and, you find yourself a mentor. And, I mentor 2 of them in wrestling right now, and I mentor a couple of them in high school and USA softball. And that's, that's the key. I mean, I had some great mentors myself.
Learning. Well, speaking of learning, I noticed your side officials today were learning from you, man. They were specifically noticing how you get in the right position to make a call. So before you make a call, you're there to make it. You got that that better point of view, though. That does help.
That's years experience, and we always tell new officials, it's just one thing you can't teach, and that's experience. You just got to get mat time.
Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, I was pretty fortunate with, like, Bob Board and Chris Loudermilk.
Had a couple good mentors yourself.
Having some of the best mentors that I could.
Joe Bennis, you mentioned earlier, too?
He's the one that actually taught the class that I took, so.
That's cool. Shout out to that family.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's, just whatever we can do to get some more officials and young officials in, so.
Well, Jeff, last year we shouted you out because you had the chance to have your first year down at the state tournament. Talk a little bit about that, your first experience. I'm confident we'll see you down there again in this March there.
I will not be down there this year.
I
did not get the assignment this year, no.
Okay, that's okay. But tell us about last year.
So last year it was kind of a bit overwhelming when you first walk in and seeing all those Rudis mats laid down because none of us knew what to expect with that.
That was new.
Freestyle wrestling.
But I mean, none of us really knew what to expect with that. Rudis obviously took care of the officials, gave us all a free pair of shoes.
Nice.
So tell us a little bit about that, though, like because there was no defined out of bounds line. I know that was an issue. For
it
you
was
guys
because
and wrestlers.
You almost had 2 out of bounds lines with the freestyle lines, but we all worked through it. But being down there for the inaugural season for the girls was pretty special.
Oh, dude.
So I guess I'm like, if you're going to have a first one, if it's something else first going on down there.
Right.
But, there's 3 of us assigned to a mat, and our mat captain said, all right, what's the rotation? And I just told him, I want to start. I need to be on the mat. I just right out of the gate. I was very pumped. And I got some really good reviews from the guys that were down there, the observers and stuff like that, about at least how calm I looked.
Sure.
Which I'm like, okay, I must have been hiding that well for the first day, you know.
You did great, brother.
But yeah, it was just a great experience, and going down there with like Tim Wadian, who Tim Wadian was one of my mentors, kind of helping me up when I was doing youth and that kind of stuff, and having that familiar face down there, and hey, it's red and green, Jeff. It doesn't matter what level we're at. It's just red and green,
That's right.
Yep.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, our guest, Class 1 official, Mr. Jeff Bowman. Jeff, you piqued my interest a little bit because I'll be honest with you. I thought, and again, I don't want to say once there, always there, but when you went down, I truly thought you would be there. Can you talk a little bit about, you said I didn't get the assignment. So how does that work, that you get assigned, or what's the process, that you do get picked, if you will, to go down to the state tournament?
So it's all based off of, obviously, your score, and that's your score based off of coaches, ADs, your own association voting for you, that kind of stuff. So you get a composite score. Based off of that, then you can be put into that pool of officials, and then
sense.
Basically out of that pool of officials, the top guys with OHSAA and like Toby and those guys, I mean, they're going to pick who they feel is going to be the best that's down there. Now, with the wrestling, you can do 2 years in a row, and then you'd have to sit a year.
Okay,
but with softball, you have to. It's only every other year. So I've done 3 state softball games. So
Have you officiated women's matches yet in wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many? Because I know it's new and everything.
Well, I mean, over at Top Gun, I mean, they had a whole women's division over there. Yeah. So I mean, that was really nice, and that tournament ran smooth, adding the girls into there.
100% it did.
It went really good, and we had officials. We had 18 officials there, and 12 of them were all state officials.
Wow.
That were there, and I throw my buddy Jerry Tennant in with that, and Jerry
I was
just
gonna
can't
ask about Jerry Tennant.
Jerry Tennant, because he does the NCAA, and it comes at the same time as districts. He just is not able to get, because you got to be able to do sectionals, districts, and state. But
is Jerry stomping? Is he a Carrollton?
Yes, I believe
that. He's a Carroll-Tuckian.
Jerry Tennant?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wrestled. He also wrestled at Mount.
Okay.
We saw him down there for Carrollton Minerva last year.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm just piecing it together now.
Yeah. Jerry's one of the best. I mean, he's a great official.
Oh, 100%.
So, and he's the one that's got me into college now.
And I'm not sure if you were on it with. I know that.
Because he does all the D2 stuff.
Yeah.
I know that Brad Scarborough was the one who put his hand down when the Mazdan girl Adeline was able to win that, and then Jim absolutely went nuts.
Yes.
What an environment that was at Top Gun. I mean, John even mentioned before you got on that the girls stole the show.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think you give this sport 5 more years, and the way the competition has already over the last year or two come up with the girls, I mean, it's, a lot of those schools that are in the EBC league, have the women's teams, and I tell you, they put on a good show. So
look at Fargo.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was competing out there for years, I was waiting to see a dinosaur. And, now you get the women's out there, and it's way more exciting to watch those finals matches. Yep. I mean, it's day and night.
Well,
and you hear it in the crowd. It's
the fastest growing sport for OHSA right now, so is women's wrestling. And, some guys are saying it's saving the sport of wrestling. Hey. I just think it's just growing it. So,
Next? Okay.
So.
Shepherd?
Wrestling.
All right, guys, I got to go back out on the mat here. I got to earn my pay.
No, don't leave us.
Our guest has been Mr. Jeff Bowman. Jeff, thank you for taking time out.
Right.
I guess we're not going to see you tomorrow. That bums me out. But hey, have a good weekend.
All
brother.
right, thanks, guys. See you.
Bye-bye. Over on the women's mat, TJ's a good match. It's tied up 6-6 over there. We're in the third period, less than a minute. We have for Perry, Kaylee Miller-Grimm. And I know that 25's coming up next.
Okay.
They bypassed that. That's going to be kind of that's going to be a highlight match.
I know Kaylee's mom, Steph Grimm, big fan of what we do here at the SMG Network. She's watching now as her daughter's out to compete. And I believe I heard in the back also, Jim, you were mentioning about Shepherd. I saw
Emma.
I saw her mother, Rachel, is here.
Yeah.
And
I know the Shepherd.
Logan was the young man who was wrestling not only for Perry and then transferred to Louisville, or do I have that reversed?
No, he was at Perry. No, he was at Fairless and he went to
Fairless and then went to Perry.
And then his brother was friends with my nephew Emil, and his brother was a Fairless placer.
Gotcha.
At Fairless, but used to work out with the Perry guys all the time. So, and Chris, yeah. Oh, come on.
All right, 6-6 is our score. We're going to go into overtime. And yeah, absolutely. And again, Russell won tournaments here as always. I'll tell you what, Chris Kali Jr., we've had him on over there. Maybe we'll try to sneak him on a little bit later. We had him on at the Ironman, but he's
busy,
trying to
man.
get ready.
He's busy, man. He's the guy making sure that everybody's staying plugged in and connected. So I don't want to disturb him because I never disturb the IT guys. They are the they are the vital lifeline.
Hey, I had his back early. I told Art, I say, hey, straight up, Chris was going to soup you earlier, man, if the internet wasn't
so,
working.
John, tell me, is this the Shepherd girl right here that's pacing in front of us?
Warming up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she just gave you the death stare, man, because you were pointing at her. Yeah.
Well, I saw.
Why are you pointing at her, TJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her mom in the hallway. She helped us out a lot when we first started this thing up, getting info on Logan when he was competing.
Well, her daddy was a state placer back in his day. And that's where it all derives from.
Where did Logan go to college at? He's still wrestling collegiately right now.
Correct. I believe it's, what is it? What's the one in down there in Wheeling Jesuit, maybe? I think Skanetsky's is Nate Skanetsky the head coach down there at that program? It's Division II.
I'm not sure, brother.
And I think, he picked him up, though. And great program he's in. And, he had a run at the Nationals. I don't know how he finished out, TJ, but he's in a good program, got a great coach, and, you see that a lot with all of Perry's wrestlers, of course, every year. But, it's crazy because I remember his oldest brother, or her older brother, too, was best friends with my nephew, Emil. And those cats used to, rip each other's faces off in their basement day in, day out. And then, anything can happen out the state tournament, right? Emil wins the state tournament in the same year. I thought he was going to win one too in D3, and things that just fall his way. And it was like, whoa, no way! Like it's so. That's what I love about our state tournament, though. It has that kind of impact. So
I'll tell you what, guys, what they're doing at 125, I think they're creating a highlight match. I mean, looking at Emma's record here at 16-2, Emma, of course, a freshman. I know the young lady from Northwest, that's going to be Alexis Lewis.
Ooh,
and now we don't have a grade on Alexis, but we know Alexis, again, one of Northwest's top women wrestlers. So I think they've left that match for last, even though a lot of discussion going on over here with the 155 match. Coach Define, Coach Kali over at the table, officials trying to sort it out. Right now it is 6-6. It shows the third period, but it showed that at the end. I thought we were going into overtime.
Tell you what, man, you don't want to argue with Define about rules and scores, man.
But okay,
he's tough.
Yeah, must be the third period here. It's 6-6 is our score.
I wouldn't want to go there.
Period number 2.
I've been in the corner before with him and heard him verbally, assault officials, but in a way that it worked.
In a respectful way.
In a very respectful way.
Over here on mat number 1, 8-3
and it
Perry
worked.
on top.
I've seen him win those battles, But
we're gonna focus in on this
that's
mat
hard
number
to see.
1 over here.
That doesn't usually happen.
These girls knotted up 6-6, Jim, with a $142 remaining here in the third. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Fowler and they slip, and nope, they're going to stay in the same position. Fowler almost coming out on the reversal or escape situation, but Miller Grimm getting herself back on top. Again, this must be the third period, obviously not into overtime. Minute 24 remaining in the third period.
One thing, I don't know if you guys even aware this was a thing, but at the Top Gun, I was talking to some of the parents that their daughters wrestled, and that they said that, girls, one thing that they had an issue with, and they want to know if there's going to be rules about this soon or not, but makeup. They said, hey, my daughter was out there wrestling this girl, and some of that her opponent's makeup got in my daughter's face and went down in her eye, and she literally couldn't see, and, she got pinned in after that. And I'm like, I never even considered that to be a thing.
You didn't have to take your makeup off back in the day?
That's how I won.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought
he was known for wearing a lot of eyeliner.
I was just going to say, I thought it was heavy mascara was the key.
No, they
called him Mascara Lowery.
Right. That's my coaching staff made sure that's the only way I could win a match. So.
Jeez. All right, 6-6 is our score. Tell you what, there's been a couple opportunities for Fowler to get out. All she needs is that one to go up.
Right.
But Miller Grimm doing a great job riding. A little bit high now. Got to be careful. And like to see Fowler get a foot on the match. She's got the hand over top. Good position.
She's in good position.
Outside foot is up. 23 seconds. Got to get one coming across on top. No points yet. Got to get that inside leg possibly out.
Nope.
And the hip pressure's in. Get that leg free. 15 seconds.
She did not
10
get the
seconds.
first
Here we
move.
go.
Yeah.
Nothing yet. And Miller Grimm hanging on to that leg. The official looking for loss of control. It's not there. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Oh, now we're going to go into overtime. 6-6 our score. They're going to go on our feet.
She wins this, what they call the Grim Reaper, maybe?
I don't know.
That'd be pretty. That'd be a
all right, here we go.
That'd be the name to go by after that, yeah.
1 minute on the clock. I'll tell you what. Fowler had the chance right there. Plenty of time. Needed to get that leg broken out of that inside
Look at the Perry
trap.
guy looking to roll the tussle guy over there and get the pin, finish him off. He's almost got him.
TJ's got us over on the men's mat. He'll swing back. I'm going to kind of call you out here on the women's. We're at 1 minute. Clock has started. Ladies on their feet. Miller Grimm taking a shot. Fowler on top. Might be able to bring her down to get the 2. Remember, first period, 1 minute. You're looking for a takedown for the victory. Nice job working ahead. Fowler on top. Gets it. Oh, she pulls her on top of her.
2.
And
That's
2 points take down the match. Fowler trying to get that head underneath of Miller Grimm. Couldn't do it. Pulled her on top of her. Lost her balance a bit. And Perry is going to come out on top with the victory there.
This is the match show coming up right here.
Nice match. Yeah. Yep, this is the one that they save for the end.
Freshman.
Emma Shepard.
Emma's a freshman.
Yep. Alexis Lewis.
Yeah.
Is that the first OT we've seen tonight?
First I've seen.
Tell you what, I think she's got to be up there for Holster Clark Electric Performance 100%. Right there.
That was sick.
All right. Well, I think this will be the final match for our ladies in round number 3. Here we go. Alexis Lewis, Emma Shepard for Perry. We're underway. Our round 2 of our men's about ready to finish up. Our last round for the men will feature the Northwest Indians versus the Perry B and Walsh B team. We'll give you that exclusive because this will be the last, should be the last match for our women's rounds here this evening. And as always, Tej, right, our women, they got to get ready for tomorrow, man. Fear the Spear.
Yeah, I know that I had a chance to talk to the Brush girls. They will not be here. They're going down to Columbiana.
Okay.
But you've got a list I know we talked about. There is going to be a lot of girls here in attendance, a lot of different teams in attendance. And I think it's just a great thing that Arts put together here because we talked about it. You know, do you piggyback on top of a Top Gun and Iron Man, which, you know, they did that and it was great. But, you know, having your own deal and being able to feature teams like McKinley, the Bulldogs will be in attendance. Canton South, Carrollton,
Wildcats,
the Chippewas out of Doylestown. You're going to have Claymont back here again, rocking the pinstripes, doing a great job here tonight. Cloverleaf, Crestview, East Liverpool will be a scratch. You're going to have Fairless in attendance. Garfield out of Akron will be here. Howland out of Warren will be here. Lincoln View, Marlington. The Dukes will be in attendance. Obviously, your home team host, the Northwest Indians, led by the sensational Maddie Beggar. They will be competing. Norton will be here. Maslin Perry will be here as we're seeing them right now out there on the mat. You talked about Emma. She's going at it. You're going to have Shenandoah, Tri-Valley, Tusky Valley, Tuslaw.
Nice.
You will have the lone Maslin lady wrestler who will be here. And then the Warriors, the West Branch Warriors, they will be in attendance as well.
Love it. Love it. 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. Tej, 2-0 our score. Lewis getting the takedown there. Nice job. Got the legs in. Boy, doing it. Trying to get some back points. The swipes have not started. Nope. Shepard pulls herself around. She'll belly out. And that'll end it for the first period. After one, it's 2-0 Northwest. Lewis in the lead. Coin is flipped. Choice, she's going to defer. She's going to give choice to Shepard here in the second period. She's going to reserve choice for herself in period number 3. Oh, Shepard's going to go under her feet. And again, we know how tough the Panthers are overall on their feet. Just a prolific machine as it comes to takedowns. Again, this will wrap up round number 3 for our ladies. Round number 3 yet to go for our gentlemen. Both ladies doing a nice job hand fighting, trying to find a position, trying to find that opening, take the shot, maybe stay upstairs, head and arm, or duck under, something on top. We'll
Jim,
see.
give me a little update here. The gentleman that's in the corner there with Art Kali, he was one of the guys that was helping Chris Jr. set up for Russell One tournaments. Who is that in the corner with him?
Yep, absolutely. That is Corey Kali. Corey is another one of the family members. He coaches down here with Art, also a member of the Russell One family, of course, the Kali family. Right.
Josh was also helping out here as well, right?
Josh is one of the women's coaches. I'm surprised Josh isn't here. Josh, I'm not sure why I did not hear why Josh is, but no, Josh is the primary women's coach here at Northwest. So I know that he recently, Tej, had knee surgery. Was in practice, right? I mean, you're talking about, a state wrestler there in practice got blindsided in the back of the knee. ACL, MCL.
Oh, no.
Both reconstructed. Didn't see it coming. And, it's been a journey for him, brother.
You know, that seems a lot like your guy Coleman, man. I mean, when we were up there at Medina, Micah was telling me about his dad and how he shattered his orbital bones, the socket in the eye, out there wrestling around in practice, and was facing some major reconstructive surgery to that orbital bone.
I try to tell some of the veteran elderly coaches, more of my era guys, there comes a time and it's like, you can coach from the side. You have nothing to prove. You don't need to go out and show what you got. We're old, and it takes us a long time to mend. But, yeah, I saw Jeff, actually, TJ, up there, and I'm like, dude, what is with your face, man? Mrs. Coleman and you, you spout off again?
All right?
Yeah, but, no, you're absolutely right. So, Jeff's mending, looking, I haven't seen him here recently, but, you're spot on, brother. All right, second period is over. Shepard had a shot there right towards the end of the period, but the ladies went out of bounds. Lewis had choice. And again, Lewis, as her counterpart, decided to go neutral. They're on their feet, 2-0. Lewis in the lead.
And Alexis has the 2-0 lead?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Got that takedown within the first minute of the first period. That's been our only score so far.
Who's up?
Lewis is up from Northwest 2-0.
Wow.
Shepard, almost a nice shot there, John, towards the end of the second period. Was out of bounds there again. You can see trying that double leg. Got to bring the hips with her a little bit. She's leaving the hips back, trying to use all the upper body and that. But got to take a shot and get underneath there a little bit.
I'll say this. My nephew, the year he won state, he's going to hate me for explaining this, but my niece, Anna, used to wrestle live with him down on the mat in the basement and pin him 3 times out of 4.
And Shepard with the front. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute, but Shepard again with a nice front headlock. Started left, moved herself to the right, picks up the takedown, 4-0, 45 seconds remaining. So how does, how did her brother handle that? I mean, you're talking about a state top dog and sister's pinning you in the basement. Did he let her?
No, yeah.
No.
I mean, that was war. Yeah, that was like,
Was that the catalyst for a state championship right there?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
in that moment,
yeah,
Emil became a state champion.
I think so. Yeah,
that was or my sister's gonna beat my ass for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, you had to wake up at some point. Yeah. I mean, well, he was second at the district that year. Got pinned in the finals, and then he gets down to state and. He came up to me before the finals, and he had to wrestle the same boy that pinned him at the district.
And that'll do it right there, guys. 4-0 our final, the final match, highlight match of the evening at 125 pounds. Coming away with the victory hand raised, it'll be Alexis Lewis from Northwest. I'll tell you what, another one of the
that was a cool
fine
match.
Indians there that Coach Kali has developed. Well, again, we was talking a little bit about the Geniton and my son Justin. Justin actually wrestled Emil's son when he was younger, right? But again, good match. And, of course, Emil's son went on to have an excellent high school career. Is he wrestling college right now?
No, you know what? He
helping out of Central, right?
Right, he's helping out of Central. He was at Purdue. Well, what happened was he finished his degree early, so he didn't take advantage of the COVID year or anything like that because he's like, hey, who wants to wrestle in college for any longer than you have to, right? So,
well, that was the thing, right? Now, my older two, I really wanted to see. Actually, I'd like to have seen any of my other two play soccer right at the college level. Yeah. But they both, kind of what you said there, John, they said, listen, I've been at this since I was in kindergarten, first grade. I've had enough. I'm done, Dad. I just want to focus on college, focus on school. And I respected that. I hated, I tried to get them to do a little club wrestling, but that wasn't for them. And that's okay. They had a great career. Gave Mom and I a lot of great memories to focus on.
Well,
but,
the
college is a different animal, right?
Right.
I mean, it's a different animal.
Well, and the goal is, to get that opportunity so it pays for your college. And that was, he accomplished that. So, I guess same for your boys. I mean, and myself, hey, if I go to college for free because of wrestling, heck yeah. And, he got that out of it, and I was glad to see him get that out of it. And, he came back humbled from it. He was like, hey, first thing I want to say is where can I help out? Where can I, and that's why he sought out that Central program, because he saw they needed a lot of help. And that's why he's right there right now. But, I keep working on him. Like, hey, you need to go back to home base, man. They're asking about you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, John, over here on the men's mat, it looks like, again, this is either 215 or 285. I'm guessing 215, and that match will come to an end. That'll do it there.
Okay.
And
Devon Senior's over here trying to – he's up to something, man.
What was he looking for? Looking for his hat, isn't he?
I don't know, man. He
I think he's looking for his hat.
He wants a team score. I don't –
A team score? Oh. Well,
he wants to know why he didn't get his wrestlers didn't get trophies yet. No, I don't. No, he's competitive. He's top of the line.
Yep, good dude. We, he was coaching youth back when I was coaching youth for Jackson. He was coaching, of course, Perry's youth. We had some great matches. We really did. I mean, you talked about, when is the rain going to ever end, and we really thought there was one year there that Jackson might have a chance, and it was a great dual match. We didn't have enough, of course, to overcome, but. Nope, you gotta definitely the Panthers doing a great job, and they're keeping it going again, nationally ranked this year.
Well, Emil, his senior year, man, he had that. Hold on, I got you. Hey guys, we're trying to get to camera. Thanks.
All right, we're in our final bout here of round number 2, John, with Perry B, Walsh B battling the Mustangs from Tuslaw. We're at the heavyweight bout right now, wrestling at 285. And again, bumping up one of the wrestlers there for...
that is Tuslaw, right?
Well, Tuslaw, yeah, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't look like a 215-pounder to me. But they don't have a 285, at least given to us early on. So, again, they're heavyweight out there. And, of course, for Perry, that is either Antonio Salazar or Dustin Dodd. I'm not sure which.
They still got lightweights warming up, so they're not ending with the big boys.
No, maybe they started in the middle or started up a little bit.
Like the girls did, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Looks like maybe they started at 113 because
Perry boys getting the
pin.
Well,
I'm not sure because we'll see. We'll see what we have coming up. Looks like you're right. We have one more match. Perry's got the head and arm into position again. This is either Salazar or Dodd. Not sure which. Got the head and arm tight. Has the arm and wrist. He's in good position. 52 seconds remaining. Not sure over here in the corner if you can see over Coach's head there what we have.
Well, when you see these Perry wrestlers, last week at the Top Gun, I mean, you had.
And real quick, John, coming away with the pin. Our wrestler from Perry does it. Now, I'll tell you what's happening, right? Looking at, again, all about getting matches, right? 106, they weighed in 2 wrestlers. Tuslaw did. Coach Patrim and his group, Brent Hall and Ryan Kronmiller. Because this Tony Perry, he's a 106-pounder for Perry. I did see him wrestle early on. So he's agreed to go out, get himself another match, as well as get himself a match here against the Tuslaw, the number 2 man here. This might be Kronmiller as a guess. Not really sure. So
I got you. Well, shout out to Perry, man. They're at the, Top Gun with their B team with, they have 3 kids in the semis, 2 in the finals. We saw Siebert last year win that tournament, and then as a backup, most electric wrestler in the St. Paris Grand match.
And he's jumped up a weight. Remember, he was jumping up.
Well, he went up 2 weights and placed at the state tournament in third place. So, I mean – Perry, you know.
Well, you can't jump 2 weights. You're not allowed to jump 2.
Well, don't tell anybody. I told you that.
Okay, well,
All right.
scratch that.
Yeah.
All right. 0-0 our score here. 1 minute, 22 seconds into the first period. Again, this is Tony Perry, and we believe for Tuslaw, this is Ryan Cronmiller.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's Cronmiller.
Okay. And, of course, round number 3 yet to come for our men. Don't go anywhere. We have one more round left. It'll be the Northwest Indians versus the Perry B. Walsh B. combo.
Yeah, you know, this Perry, 9th grader, I was talking, I think his mom was mayor of Massillon for a while there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she had a lot of nice stuff to say about El Matador, TJ. From knowing him through, you know, football and stuff like that over the years. So.
Well, I notice he's not here again. I wonder if he went to get some pepperoni pizza again or something. You think?
Oh,
he's back.
Man, he's back.
I just sent out the bat signal for Art Kali. So, man, you said sausage, cheese, pepperoni. We had our choice, and still no pizza. But I know John was working on a Slim Jim over there.
I tell
It
you
didn't
what.
take him long with that, Tej. It's gone. That was not a Slim Jim. That was a, you know, Jumbo Joe. And down it went. 10 seconds remaining in the first period here. Again, Tony Perry and Ryan Cronmiller. Yeah, we'll let that one go because that could really go down a bad path. It'll get us.
Hey, let me tell you guys a little interesting.
Yes, please.
When you talk coaches talk, you're gathering the girls up here, and Coach Stefan, he looked at these girls and said, it's a great message to hear too. We've seen a little bit of adversity and felt a little bit of adversity, and that's when we really kind of find out as athletes what we're made of when we experience that. Nobody's ever had perfection, right? It's gonna hit you sometime, whether it's early in the season, middle, end. It could be in the first period, it could be in the third period. You never know. That adversity is gonna hit you and how you respond and handle it. And he's still over there talking to the girls, and he looked at the one lady and said, you know what, you could pin a lot of guys in the state of Ohio. And he was talking about, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you how great you're doing. Let's talk about what you need to be better at. You need to stay off that knee, and you need to work on this better. And what they just saw right there, I mean, that to me that's great coaching, right?
That's a veteran coach right there, Tej. I mean, you know, like we said, Gary's been around a long time, knows what to say, knows when to say it. And, you know, and again, it's like he said earlier, you asked this question, Tej, about, you know, preparing for the run, peaking at the right time. And it's only the end of January, right? I mean, yeah, tournaments are over 5 weeks away. It's not, right now is not when we want to peak. Now we want to learn. Now we want to prepare. Peaking's going to come here in about 3 weeks when we start preparing for the run. So,
and Jim, if I'm correct here, they have started this third match right over here where the girls were at, because the boys, Tuslaw and Perry B, are not finished yet, so they're going to go ahead and get it started based on time constrictions.
Well, it's 8:30 here at Northwest High School. That's very probable. My guess is, though, looking at the weights, these might be extras.
Okay.
Trying to get some guys and probably going to use this gray mat, you know, because that's where I can see that's where most of the Northwest fans are located, right in front of the men's gray mat.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that's possibly some exhibition, getting some guys some matches, you know. That's what it's all about right now. Just got to get matches, get experience, get your feet on the mat. Not worrying about wins and losses, worrying about getting better because the run is coming.
Yes, sir.
Second period over here, guys, on mat number, well, gray, color gray, right? I guess we can call it mat number 1. We'll see tomorrow what they give it, mat 1 or 2. Third period, 3-0 is our score.
You know, Jim, the other good thing, too, who I know we're going to probably name our Hilscher Clark Electric performance tonight to Kayla Miller-Grimm. She actually was the one that took down, she was the only Perry girl to win first place and take top podium at Top Gun. She took down Jada Patrick from Alliance, and she actually pinned at the Lutheran West tournament, the all-girls tournament. She pinned a returning state placer, a girl that you may have called the action on, Jim. I know, well, we all kind of were, Jim, you and Chris Kali were kind of featured on the state championship mat there, mat number 1. For some reason, they put John and I all the way down on mat number 4. They probably, I don't know if Chris put a APB out and said, listen, I'm going to need John Lowery down at the far end. But you know what? Hey, man, shout out to Chocolate Milk, getting it done.
Chocolate milk, baby. Chocolate milk. Well, I'll tell you what. And again, SMG Network, we're going to be down there again at the state tournament, bringing it to you live.
We'll be featured same spots again, Jim. You and Chris are going to be on mat number 1, calling the girls' action. John and I will be down at the far end, calling Division 3. They're going to put
Going back to what Bowman said, right? What happened with the picks? There were no pill pulls?
No, man.
No.
I was going to ask him before he ran off. I said, do you need us to put in a good word for you? I mean, we can pull some strings.
Yeah, I'd say I was shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Jeff did a great job.
I thought so, too.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll be back.
Hey, I'm actually gonna, be sporting my own, quart of chocolate milk with me as my refreshment during the state finals this year. Yeah.
Anything outside of water, we're going to be very careful with you on.
Yeah. Is chocolate milk going to be a big sponsor again? Do we know?
Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the OHSAA. They will continue to be. So they will be back again as always. And for me to be able to see how it changed last year with those new Rudis masks. I know there was a little bit of controversy. Obviously, if the Perry Panthers are here, everybody knows what happened to Ducey, Charles Curtis, and really, Flint said, "You know what? You're gonna back your guy. If you're gonna toss me out the gym, it's for a good reason because that cost him placing at the state tournament. And you guys wrestled. I didn't, but I'm also a guy that." When I competed in sports, I would never want the official to take away an opportunity for me to put some type of hardware or some type of qualification on the shelf, and that happened.
That happened, yeah.
We were not going to dance around it. That happened.
Right.
No,
absolutely. And, and that's something that, when I coach, John, I'm sure you coach too, right? You try to tell your kids, guys, don't leave it in the hands of the official.
You got to be so
Take
good.
care of your business. Don't leave it. Make it that close to where it could come down, to that decision. You know what, TJ? I know you just pulled your gear off there. I'm not sure what they got going on. We got matches going both sides here. Johnny, we got another Perry and Tussalall match going on, probably getting an extra. I know that we have round number 3 yet to go for the men. But, again, the Northwest Perry match could be going on here on the red mat. Not positive, but... All right, TJ is talking with our potential Hilscher Clark wrestler of the night for the women's side of things. All right, TJ, what do you got for us, brother?
We got our girl right here. I'll tell you what, I believe you are the only one that went into overtime tonight. And you had a battle on your hands. Talk about it. Kayla Miller-Graham, you are our Hilscher Clark Electric Performer of the Night. Shout out to you. And, for your accolades this year and your team, how you guys have we talked to Coach Define, you guys have started to peak. You're getting better and better each week. You were the only one to stand at the top of the podium at Top Gun.
Yeah.
The girl that you took down at the Lutheran West tournament, she was a returning state placer?
I'm not aware of that
okay,
right now.
But you have been one of those girl wrestlers that have gotten better and better every week as the season's gone along.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey so far.
Well, this is my first year wrestling.
Whoa.
And
pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, and at Top Gun, I was really happy because I beat a girl that got 6 at states last year. So that was a really good accomplishment for me. And from the beginning of the year till now, I feel like I have been growing as a wrestler.
So before hopping into the sport of wrestling, did you do any other sports prior to that?
Yeah, I do rugby, MMA.
Wow.
And I've done
now we understand.
Now it's
excellent. Very good.
I do
what do you mean MMA?
I do
you
cage jiu-jitsu matches.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Everybody give a look up here and give a smile for the camera. I'll tell you what, you're doing a phenomenal job. And I'm going to have you right now give us a little bit of rugby knowledge because what Canton Rugby has done and how the program with Jason Doyle has been implemented over there with Bull. I had a chance to talk to Carlin Isles the other night over there at the Hall of Fame Village, and it was Danny Sturtz's vision a long time ago. He unfortunately passed away, but this is a guy that I grew up around at. Rugby would be in every high school in Stark County and then in Northeast Ohio and Ohio. What did rugby do for you as an athlete? Did it kind of push you and steer you towards wanting to get out on the wrestling mat?
Yeah, it did. A lot of the rugby girls joined the team, and they really wanted me to play, and do this. So I decided to, and it's honestly helped a lot. It really helps you like be a lot more physical in your matches, and it doesn't make you scared to want to go out there and be face to face with another person.
Yeah, and that was something that I got from Carlin Isles. He said, this doesn't just help you for this sport, this helps you across all sports.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I've seen it with guys in the sport of football. Right. Defenders tackle better when they use rugby-style tactics. You know, and you talk about the physicality of getting out here and wrestling. I mean, the girl you went against tonight, I mean, you guys battled it out. You go into overtime, and, you know, when you get to that point, right, you've probably been in matches before where you're dominating, you're leading, you finish it in 3, you finish it before the end of 3. When you go into OT, is there a different type of mindset? Like, listen, you scored fairly quick, right? You got your 2 points, 8-6, but there's a different mindset when you get in OT, right?
Yeah, you do get a bit nervous because you realize that if they get you, they win. Right. And it's just as simple as that. But you have to know that you can be better than that, and you have to really put your all into those last few seconds to get that point.
You know, it's interesting with the guys, right? We talk a lot about, you know, what's next after wrestling. If you don't go to college and so forth, what do you do? And back, you know, when I coached, we talked about MMA. We tried to use it as a recruiting tool. I'm fascinated that you kind of went the other way. You have the jiu-jitsu, the MMA background, then you came out. Because, I mean, the women's wrestling now becoming a little bit, you know, known and more, and Perry growing that program. So how did your background in the MMA, kind of like TJ asked in the rugby, how did you see that helping you as you're learning the technique of our sport here?
It really helps, like, feeling people's weight out. In jiu-jitsu, you do a lot of rolls, and you're doing sweeps all the time. So for wrestling, whenever they're on top of me, it helps me feel their weight so I can roll them over.
Feel that
and
balance,
flip them.
which way we're going to go.
Yeah.
The feel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Now, what about you? So you're a senior, right?
Yes.
So what's next?
I'm planning on going to college for nursing. I'm in Perry's medical program right now.
All right.
So.
Any college in mind? You thought about where you want to?
I've been looking into Mount Union and Stark State.
All right, local.
Yes.
Now Mount Union, you know, and he's going to be here tomorrow. Coach Winger is going to be here, the women's coach at Mount Union. Have you thought about taking your wrestling to the collegiate level, possibly?
I've been talked to about a few times.
I bet.
I'm still a bit unsure just because
Sure.
I want to go into nursing, and that takes a lot.
Yeah.
So it is still up in the air, though. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I want to do right now.
My wife's a nurse of 30-some years. God bless you. We need good nurses, and you've picked an honorable field. So best of luck with you on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, again, our guest, ladies and gentlemen, is our Hilscher Clark Electric wrestler on the women's side, Kaylee Miller-Grimm.
I'll tell you what, we're going to let you get out of here because I feel like I've seen all your girls leave now. I don't want the bus to take off without
Where's
you.
Kaylee?
Way to go, TJ. We appreciate you stopping by and kind of chatting with us and letting, you know, just filling us in on everything within your athletic career, what you got going on. And we're excited to see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you guys so much.
All right.
Yep.
you're
Have a great night.
There she is, folks. Again, our Hilscher Clark women's wrestler of the night, Kaylee Miller-Grimm, a senior over at Perry High School, wrestling 155 pounds. All right, TJ, I think you kind of called it, brother. I had it a different way. I think they, with time and everything, they're kind of, you know, setting the matches accordingly, picking a mat, using both mats, because over here you have the senior, right, from Northwest Wrestling. The young man from Walsh.
Art used his influence to say, I'm going to have to be back here pretty early tomorrow, so that it's 8:45 now. Let's get this thing going. We have an open mat. Let's start wrestling.
Good call.
So tomorrow it's just the women's tournament only, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then right now we got Northwest wrestler dominate one of Walsh Jesuits.
Yeah, that's Mr. Wolf there. That's oh goodness.
Braden Wolf.
I think it's Braden, right?
Yeah, Braden. And again, I'm drawing a blank. They had, I don't know if it was here, they had a try with Coventry and Massillon. Northwest was able to beat Coventry. They lost to Massillon. And in that, Braden got his 100th victory.
Oh, nice. I remember that, yeah.
And he was one of the guys that was featured in the room with you, Jim, right? Him,
absolutely.
Lazarus was in there as well.
Matty Beggar.
And there was another young man. and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Dude, I can't remember if I showered. You're pulling something from a year and a half ago, man. Good job,
got mind like an elephant.
Yeah, boy.
Body like an elephant as well. A baby elephant now. I used to be a full-grown elephant. Now I'm just a baby elephant.
King Tut.
Listen, you bring a bag of peanuts tomorrow, I'll start doing some tricks for you.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are winding up the evening here, but you're watching the SMG Network live stream of a Friday night wrestling extravaganza right out of Northwest High School. It's powered by TKTS Sports and presented by Hilscher Clark Electric. And, of course, our first Hilscher Clark Electric wrestler of the evening, our women's wrestler. And, guys, we got to pick someone on the men's side yet tonight, right?
I'll tell you what.
Leaning anyway?
It's hard to say. I haven't really seen anybody in particular set themselves apart. Here's our girl right here, KMA Media. Make sure if you're not following along on social media, KMA Media, Caitlin Allen, always doing a great job following Tuslaw Wrestling and doing their photography. So I know she'll be back out here tomorrow. The Tuslaw girls are going to be out here. But nobody's really
Nobody's kind of rolled your socks
apart.
Up and down yet.
No, man. They're still kind of, I'm waiting for them to fly up. And,
I'm Team Lions, of course, you know.
Yeah.
I've always been since I've seen them at the MIT, the holiday class.
Yeah, but let's not use past experience. It's about tonight's action, Mr. Lowery. Let's keep it in perspective.
And listen, you know what? If nobody sets themselves apart, then you know what? I guess Miller Grimm is going to stand alone.
I tell you what, if a Walsh kid gets it done here soon, I'm Team Walsh. You know, so.
that or Holder. Guys, depending what happens at heavyweight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. I want to wait for the heavyweight match. I got to see my young man, Mr. Satterfield, because for the first stepping on the mat, wrestling 2.5 or whatever Art said he's wrestled. And to see him kind of do, again, the athlete that he is, because the Perry wrestler, I believe it's going to end up being, the young man, I had him right here. It was it Salazar, Johnny? Where's the Perry lineup?
Somewhere out there, Jamie Fallsnight is rolling his eyes at your last comment, Jamie, wondering about if it's going to come down to the heavyweights, because he's going to roll his eyes and say, "Oh, it's like watching water freeze." And give me the 106ers.
Yeah. And now we'll see. Antonio Salazar or Dustin Dodd. It will be one of the two. I'm not sure who wrestled. So I'm gonna hold court, brother, till I see Mr. Satterfield.
Did you find out? Is it the guy Salazar that he's going to be wrestling?
I don't know yet, but when I see them go out, I'm going to the table to get a name because I want to be sure. You know, the young man from Perry did pin in his second round against his opponent from Tuslaw. So I'm not sure. But we're going to have the right wrestler at heavyweight.
Well, it's been a great night so far, partner. I'll tell you what, we were kind of doing a little bit of a scramble drill here earlier when we got in, trying to figure out what the internet connections would be. We got all that figured out, and again, we'll give the big shout out. That is due, in fact, in part to Wrestle One tournaments. I know you're a part of that regime and have been there for a long time, and what you guys do, this is a very minor, I don't want to call it Spartan, but a very minor, easy setup for you guys compared to what you typically do.
Oh, Tej, yeah.
I mean, what you guys did at Ironman, to not only do it in Thunderdome, but down there in Rico Fieldhouse. I mean, 2 levels, all of these things wired up. The amount of cables that were ran before the mats were rolled out, it's intense. I mean, but you guys make it seamless.
Yeah, what Chris does with his team, and of course the man behind the computers that really connects everything, is right here beside us, Chris Kali Jr. It is absolutely fascinating. I don't remember, Tej, it was the Ironman. It was one of the tournaments. You know, while that tournament was going on, he is remotely working with another tournament. Right, Medina.
He did it from the beaches of Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I didn't even think about that one. You're right. He had us all set up.
He set the server up from the furthest time zone away.
Mai Tai with a little umbrella.
The furthest time zone away, out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. He set your server up in Medina.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I'll tell you what, I mean, and I'll tell you another great guy that does it. One of the first times I had seen it really before I got involved with Chris and the team was, Doug Sikora. Doug Sikora was one of the pioneers of the technology, if you will, in tournaments. Doug has always done a great job. And, but yeah, Chris's group taking it to another level. Actually, we'll be out at the D3 regionals in the first weekend of March during the district season. I think you and I talked. We're going to have some SMG network representation again out at the D3 Nationals.
Yeah, yep. And then obviously when
you'll be doing districts, I think you said we're going to run 2 channels possibly that weekend, no?
Yep. We'll be at districts again. That will be at North Canton Hoover. So shout out to Tom Oakes. I know they do a phenomenal job whenever they run things over there. Larry Kennard kind of stepped up and ran the holiday tournament, which is the oldest, what we know, the oldest holiday tournament, 2-day tournament in the state of Ohio. Now, there was a little bit of
beats Medina?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
You're kidding. That surprises me.
Actually, the oldest 2-day tournament in the state of Ohio and the oldest holiday tournament in the country. So we got some of those fun facts over there. Wow. It was pretty cool. And
did not know that.
Larry Kennard stepped up and did all of that stuff. And I know Tom Oakes is excited to have districts back there again. We weren't sure if it was going to be up at Menor. It will be at North Canton. We will be there. We'll be out for sectionals. We'll be out for the state duels. We're going to find out those different locations, and we'll let people know. But obviously, whatever we follow up until then will lead us to the point of March 9th, 10th, and 11th when we're back down there at the state tournament.
Absolutely.
That's going to be fun, man. I'll tell you, there's a lot of great environments out there for high school athletics. If I can give you my top 2 that I've witnessed over the last 2 years, we've spent a lot of time in CT Brandon Natatorium over the last few weeks for the Federal League Championships that we had the other night. Also the Jackson Hoover Duel, which they are the top 2 typically every year in swimming and diving inside the Federal League.
Yes.
The environment for the state championships inside of CT Brandon Natatorium and the environment for the state championships inside of the shot, they are really second to none. They stand alone to me.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing, of course I came through, John, I don't know if you were always at the shot or if you were ever at Wright State when you came through, but, when I was there, we were at St. John's and the historic temple, I guess you could say, that St. John's was to many of us back over the years when we were a little, I'm not going to lie, some of the old school was a little bit bummed when they moved it, right? Went to Wright State before the shot was brought in, so...
I almost just got accosted by the Walsh Jesuit guy over there. He said he's actually the Shermanator's grandfather, and I told him to slide over.
Good grief.
And he gave me a look. He said, I've heard about you.
Oh, boy.
You will get nothing, and you will like it.
And I will not move.
I'm going to have to ride back maybe with Bostic tonight, man. I'm scared to walk out there in the parking lot by myself with you.
We'll all go out hand in hand. It'll work.
All right.
We're all going to survive this thing tonight.
We will survive. Well, TJ, and you talked about Russell One, where they're going to be. They are actually going to be, we are going to split that team up. I'm actually going to be here at Northwest. They also are going to be doing the sectional at Perry and the sectional at Wadsworth. So Russell One will be running all 3 of those. So we will have, if you want, right, we'll have D2 representation. Wherever you think, maybe over at Perry, maybe another team over there, we could probably run 2 channels that day, give a double dose.
Tell you what, anytime I get to go over there to Perry and see Coach Brent McBurney and his sweater jacket, it's a good day.
Is that where you're going to go?
It's a good day. You got to follow the sweater jacket, man.
All right.
Hey, the guy that just came over there and gave us a little dap, that was Chase Horvath, right?
No, that was Coach Petrine.
Coach Petrine.
From Tuslaw. Tuslaw's head coach.
Does Chase still assist on that staff?
I don't know that. I know that he did. I'm looking over some of the coaches
I've been trying to find him. They kind of have that similar look in the face, a little grizzled and seasoned.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I do know. Yeah, that was their head coach there. Always nice to say goodbye.
Yeah.
I know he really appreciates all the work that goes on with SMG and the things that happen here. So, all right, we are in round number 3 now. Again, got a little crazy there. We're using both mats, but it looks like Coach Kalai has taken us down. Nope, correction. They got somebody on the red mat, too.
That's right.
So both mats being used as we go through this final round. And it kind of goes to what you said, Tej, right? I mean, not so much a team v team here because you're dealing with two B teams. It's about getting matches. So that's kind of what Coach is doing here, splitting the mats, getting matches. But again, I want to see Mr. Satterfield here at heavyweight.
I love stuff like I like that you get that opportunity to get an extra match in, especially this time of year. It's important rolling up in that sectional tournament, getting some experience in.
Absolutely.
Northwest getting a victory there over Walsh Jesuit.
And looks like they got two in a row. Looks like they're going to get a second one over here. They did. They got two of them.
How about that?
Both against Walsh.
That's Walsh is putting in the time, man. They got a lot to achieve still.
Well,
and,
again, right, Johnny, it's their B team, so be fair. JVs, whatever you want to call it. I like the B team concept.
I like it too.
I mean, everybody thinks being a JV is a moniker of you're no good. That's totally hogwash.
Right.
And nothing wrong with paying your dues, getting ready to step up when it's your time. I think that's the problem many times with our kids. If you don't walk into a room and you're whatever it is, whatever sport, if I'm not varsity, forget it. I'm not wrestling, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. It's like, come on, guy.
Hey, listen, no shots at my alma mater or anything, but it's a whole different story to be on a B team or a JV team at Glen Oak compared to Perry.
Right, yeah.
Think how hard. I mean, there's a lot of kids that start in the lineup for Glen Oak, Hoover, Green, Lake, Jackson, that would not be able to make the starting lineup over there at Perry.
Oh, absolutely not, right?
But a lot of the B teamers would start at those schools.
They could start at those schools. Nope, you're absolutely right.
That's 100%, yeah.
All right, well, again, on the gray mat, where we started with our men, we have, again, it looks like another Walsh wrestler out there against our Northwest wrestler.
Try and keep these old seasoned grizzly-looking fellows
out
of the way.
They're trying to hog that. They're trying to hog that camera time, ain't
they? They want some airtime, man. Yeah.
They're like, listen, we never had this type of coverage back when we wrestled. We want a little airtime now
camera.
too.
Put me on camera.
Yeah. Bunch of divas out here. I didn't think that was part of the wrestling moniker, man. Here's a bunch of divas.
Yeah, I tell you what, you start talking Notre Dame football, and the true divas come out.
Okay. All right, looks like we're going to gear up here again on mat number red, or mat number 1 to my left. We're going to call that mat 1 because I got a feeling, I have no idea. That's going to be 215 pounds. This was the young man I thought was Mr. Satterfield.
Earlier, yep.
Wrong.
Yeah. It's all right, Jim. I forgive you.
I appreciate it, brother.
So, well, going back to what you were talking about, they still use the St. John's Arena for the state duels. So.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, for the finals.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
They'll have the top 4, meaning the regional champs from each region, come down there and duke it out for the state title during that state duels action. They actually started doing that back in Amos last year. But I remember, back in my day, we'd go to this,
Did you go to Wright State, or were you at? Were you still around when the St. John's was used for the state finals?
No. So yeah, we were going to the shot, but for the state duels though, back then they would do that like at Claymont High School.
I would say I didn't know that they. I truthfully did not know they moved the finals to St. John.
Yeah.
I knew the state duels always at high school, right?
Right. Yeah.
Gentlemen,
that's a big change though, and in a good way. Yeah.
Sure.
I come bearing bad news.
Uh-oh.
There's no more pizza.
No.
What's going on?
There will be no Connor Satterfield, as he will be winner by forfeit. And again, I want to talk about the lady who we mentioned over here. That is Jackie Gressack, who is who's working with the girls here with Northwest and helping out with RK Live. So didn't have a name on her. We do now, and I know you're sad, Jim. I'll get it to you. Wipe the tear away that you're not going to get a chance to see Connor, but
okay, maybe later. Well, that said, I got to be straight up with you guys, man. I mean, I'm kind of watching on the men's side, as TJ said. I mean, I think our Hilscher Clark is that standout performance, and I think everybody did what they were supposed to do tonight. There wasn't really any matchups or upsets, if you will, anywhere. So I'm not sure I'm going to throw a vote in tonight.
You know what? I feel good with Miller Grimm. I mean, she stands alone. She was the only OT victor I think we're going to get a rollover here.
What a cool story, too, for a background.
Victory for Northwest again.
I love that she was rugby and MMA background.
That was cool.
That's cool.
You know, the other young lady.
First-year wrestler.
Right, the other young lady that, I was kind of thinking about, too, was that Alexis Lewis that beat Emily Shepard, right? Emily coming in 12-2, though a freshman. And I know Alexis has been around a while, but I thought Alexis did a nice job tonight, but definitely Miss Grimm.
Oh,
well done.
I tell you what, it's really, and that she's proof of what we were talking about. The new names that we're going to see down at state in that girls division come to life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you looked at that, we read down through that Perry lineup. If I can find it here quickly. Do you have the Perry women? No, you're fine, brother. Where's the Perry women's? There it is.
Just not to cut you guys off here, I believe I'm looking at Coach Kali. I think they are going to try and get in a last couple exhibitions here. He's getting one of his guys, young man by the last name of Jackson. He's going to get him out. I think we're going to have one more match here.
Okay.
Looks like he may be calling out some more names, but we are kind of getting pretty close to the end here.
Well, the Extravaganza is coming close. But again, real quick, guys, looking at that Perry team, 4 freshmen in that lineup, right?
Wow.
4 freshmen, records 11-7, 17-4, 12-9, 16-2, all winning records, as women freshman wrestlers. So just like you said, John, the future is bright. Got to put the shades on, right? I mean, that's just the way it's going to be over there.
Yeah.
Did you leave the shades at Medina?
No, I actually left them on my kitchen table. But
did John leave his shades again?
Yeah, I did misplace. Yeah, I should have brought them today. That's for sure. It's funny you mentioned that. I was telling TJ a little bit about on the way here, like, back in, you probably had the same thing back in our day. They didn't have stuff like this to get some extra matches in before the sectionals or anything like that. So, like when I was at Walsh, when we weren't wrestling the Ironman, I'd go to the Ironman and, call dudes out and be like, hey, I want that jacket, man. Let's go, me and you.
We're out in the cafeteria?
No, on the mat. On the mat, yeah.
So you were wrestling for gear?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, those unofficial matchups like that. I used to, same thing. I'd see like 2 teams about to duke it out on a big duel. Guys my weight that were ranked in the state ahead of me or something. I'd show up and say, hey, before they put the mat down, let's roll, man.
Guys, I was just asking Emma Shepard there where her brother's wrestling. He's wrestling at Bucknell.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Cool. Hey, everybody is checking out the Jim Bostic doll.
No, they are not. We can put that thing back. TJ, how did you let him?
That the real name of that doll is Mr. Perfect.
I tell you what, we need to get.
Well, then I know it's not my doll.
Do you see the resemblance?
You do.
Yep. Yeah. And it's been a hit. So that's Mr. Jim Bostic there. Yeah, he is not only a SMG.
Oh boy.
The SMG OG.
Legend.
We can tell it's getting late.
But
we're running out of things to talk about.
We're talking about the puppet doll.
But wait a minute, Jim's also wrestling 1 extraordinaire too. So yeah. He's pulling double weight at something like this.
Yeah, double weight for sure.
Well, and also think about this too, guys. I mean, we were just seeing the Perry girls kind of roll out of here. I mean, they're with a quick turnaround, man. I mean, you're going to be back here. You're going to be wrestling within 12 to 13 hours.
Well, talk about that, Teej, real quick, too. You talked about, having live broadcast here tomorrow. You are going to be somewhere special tomorrow. You got a big event you're doing, right?
Yeah, we're gonna work ourselves into that one there. Still waiting to make sure that we got a full crew to be able to go up and handle some of those duties. I know one of our guys is going to be, following his son. Obviously, what Jamie Falls Knight has done for us has been nothing but great. But, his allegiance lies with following his son. And the Hoover Vikings will be wrestling tomorrow.
Senior year, man.
You know what? We may have some coverage from up there, but if we don't, you'll have me sitting here riding shotgun right next to you, partner.
I love it, brother.
Because we obviously we love the girls' action, what they're bringing to the table, and I know tomorrow is going to be a phenomenal day here.
All right. I love it. I love the sounds of that. All right. Looks like we're wrapping up here. Got a couple matches going on each. Again, you have been with John Lowery, TJ Downing, and Jim Bostic here at the Friday night Extravaganza at Northwest High School, sponsored by the Hilscher Clark Electric Company, powered by TKDS Sports. And TJ, I'll tell you what, again, can't say enough about our sponsors, can you?
Yeah, and also tomorrow, just so everyone knows, over 20 different teams, schools for these ladies will be represented. We know out of the list that we got, which was over 20, the only one that will not be in attendance will be East Liverpool. So we're going to have a full slate for you. I know the action will be going all day long. Wrestling will start at 9:30. We'll go live with you about 9:15 tomorrow morning. So again, shout out to everybody who's been listening to us tonight on the SMG Network, smgnetwork.tkdssports.com. But it also is brought to you by Walsh University, Leathernecks Nation MC, C.H. Vallis and Associates, Save22.vet, H&H Truck Parts, Cackley Insurance, LPL Financial, Lindsay's Pizza, Nathan's Patio, Lace and Dagger Tattoo Company, Drive Mine Group, McNeil & Sons Tree Service. And as we roll into tomorrow, we will have a lot of, we've got some new sponsors that have come on with us. We're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about these great sponsors that we just mentioned. And one, we will highlight the Drive Mine Group, Jim, the stuff that you guys have been able to do in the world of keeping us safe from viruses, bacteria, when we talk about post-COVID and what the products that you guys bring to the table has always blown my mind that it's so safe and it's so protecting against these viruses. You can squirt it right on your tongue and it's safe for you to consume. I mean, because it's basically, it's a water-based product.
Absolutely, and it's funny you say that, Tej, because talking to Coach Stats up there at Norton, not so much from their room, but yet, he said they've been hit this last few weeks with a little bit of impetigo, a little bit of ringworm, some skin issues up there. And, nothing that is life-threatening for these young men or women, but just something that does affect the ability to, go to the mat. And you can decimate your team very quickly. Right. And, it'll be great to share a little bit about stabilized aqueous ozone. It's just as you said, it's like electrified water using hydrogen peroxide products, using in the air for air and surface cleaning. It's natural. I think that's the key. The focus there of Drive Mine is to try to get these chemicals out of our schools, out of our businesses. There are plenty of great cleaning products that are not using chemicals that are affecting or could affect our children.
Jim,
to
find out more about that, dmg.com?
Absolutely. Actually, you want to go to teamdrivemine.com. Teamdrivemine.com is our website, and you can see a little bit of information there. Or, get a hold of us at
email us at startmediateam at gmail.com, and we'll be able to plug you in with Jim and his great partner, J.R. Subez. I got to give a shout out. I was supposed to say this earlier. J.R., if you're still listening or if you're still on the floor laughing from what was being said earlier, I apologize. I haven't called you back yet, partner. I will give you a call back. You want to talk a little football and a little recruiting. And got a little tied up on some projects yesterday, and so we got to get on with our guy, Mr. Biscuit.
Yeah, he told me, he did say he reached out to you. I said, what are you thinking? He goes, I got to talk some football, man. He goes, I'm getting itchy. I got to talk some. I said, well, there ain't no better guy to want to talk football than TJ. So, yeah, he's expecting your call, even though I did tell him, when did he say he was going to call you back? 5 or 10 minutes.
He said, is that par for the course?
Yeah, I said, TJ, just hang in there. He'll get to you when he gets to you, brother.
If you're getting a little itchy, I think you need some Tersano in your life. I don't know where he's itching at, but
where is he itching?
Tersano can help you with that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this is going to be our final match of the night, guys. We got a 4-1 lead over here for the young man from Walsh Jesuit. About 1:30 left in the third period. So I'm going to let you kind of finish out this action, Jim Bostic, as I kind of make some of our final preparations for landing.
Sounds good, man.
No shoe game at all at this.
No.
Sonny would have been disappointed, I think.
No,
TJ's coming in.
I'll tell you what, never forget about the old two-time state champ Sonny Marchetti and his shoe game. I'll tell you what, I was able to snag this earlier tonight. I don't know what you guys feel about that shoe game.
Sonny will like that.
Man from Tuslaw.
Yep.
What school is it, Tuslaw?
Tuslaw, rocking the Rudis.
Was that, wait, you sure it's Tuslaw?
Tuslaw on the bottom.
Yep, you're right.
He's got the
we'll call it Owen Gonzalez.
Are we calling a teal green with a lime green with the purple laces?
I'll tell you what, that's a
Rudis,
combo.
get it done.
That is a combo. Well, as TJ said, our last match of the evening here. 1 minute to go here in the third period. 4-1 is our bout score. And, nice double leg shot, and he's going to come around for
what a
two.
setup.
Very nice. Cut the hips well, come around 1 to the half. Right into the legs, 45 seconds. And we have a pin over on the red mat. Time stopped here, 44 seconds. 4-3 our score. The wrestler from Northwest down by 1. Oh, no, I'll tell you what, Tej, Art's still directing traffic down there. Absolutely. Absolutely. 4-3 our score, 44 seconds. Clock starts. Got a little bit of collar tie there. Both guys trying to find a little bit of position here. Like to see a little bit of level change. Nice job. Drops underneath. Tries a single leg. He's got his hips back a little bit. Walsh wrestler getting good hip pressure there. Coming around, has the near ankle.
You know what I'm not seeing from that position at all this past 2 years, Jim?
What's that?
Peek outs.
Nope, not a lot of peek out. You're right.
It's there.
It's there.
I don't understand. Maybe there's something I don't know. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think things come in, waves sometimes. Back in the day, it was used quite a bit. Not that people don't, and it's there. It's just maybe it's nothing. It's drilled on a consistent basis. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. 2 points takedown for the Walsh wrestler.
Tied up.
And nope, he's going to come away with the win.
He got the win. Okay.
7-3. He was up by 2. And the Northwest wrestler trying to get that last takedown, not to be. That's going to do it. And with that, TJ, I'm going to turn it over to you, brother, because I think that's going to do it here for us this evening. Tomorrow morning, boys, Fear the Spear.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, get ready. We're going to be here all day for you for the inaugural girls tournament. Shout out to Art Kali putting this thing together. And obviously tonight with the Friday Night Wrestling Extravaganza, a phenomenal job. We've been here rocking with you for over 3 hours of live wrestling coverage on the SMG live stream. So, again, join us tomorrow about 9:15. We will get things started at 9:30. Wrestling will start. It will begin. And we'll be here with you, myself, Jim Bostic, John Lowery. Appreciate everybody tuning in to us live on our website. Again, smgnetwork.tkdssports.com. Shout out to our good friends at TKDS Sports. And also our presenting sponsor, Hilsher Clark Electric Company, your Hilsher Clark electric performer from this evening. Kaylee, Miller, Grimm, getting it done. All right, we'll have that graphic up for you here later this evening as we sign off. Again, from my partners, John Lowery, Jim Bostic, I'm TJ Downing here from Northwest Local Schools in good old Canal, Fulton. We want to again give a shout out to Art Kali, not only him, but Chris Kali Jr. getting us set up, getting us that live internet feed, streaming us live all over the world. And again, to Athletic Director Jason Hathaway. He does a phenomenal job here. I know he's out at Orville right now. Boys are playing a little bit of basketball out there, having a great season on the court. So again, shout out to Northwest, the Indians. They do a great job. And we'll be back here tomorrow on campus as we get Fear the Spear underway for the first ever inaugural Fear the Spear all-girls wrestling tournament. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. So long.
God bless.